Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J. Mitch. We got Jackie Boyd.
He tried to jump up, and he might have knocked it in.
Good time, dude. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there. He's punching me in the stomach, like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around, who here thinks Ochenko can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's doing the 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Ochenko can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
On the Spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
you heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time
Good show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you gonna bring your chinchilla and your turtle?
My dad tell you about it.
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they should.
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach, I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Monday,
What an odyssey to get here.
May 6th. What an odyssey. Look, we took the spaceship to get here. Yes. We got here. We're here. We got a lot to talk about. Congratulations to LSU. Big weekend series of the number 1 team in the country. We all said, man, we would love for them to get 1 win.
We
Then they
tickled
went
too.
1 win, then they went 2 wins. We said, oh, maybe they could get a sweep. Oh, that's not too greedy. 2 out of 3. After we thought just getting 1 was a victory, big weekend. That sets them up to win the next 2 series, to put them at 13 wins in the SEC. Hopefully, that'll be enough for an at-large bid, but it'll definitely be enough to get them into the tournament. So we're gonna break down the weekend, recap the weekend. Ashton Larson, freshman outfielder for the Tigers, coming live in studio
Your muse.
at 6:30. Huh?
I said your muse.
My guy, man. My guy. I'm gonna talk about how much I like him. Yeah, I'm nervous. But I'm excited to talk about him. Obviously, he's gonna give a freshman perspective on the season, what he's learned. He obviously didn't start early, didn't have a lot of playing time early on. Has forced his way into the leadoff role, which is what he was the last 2 games of this weekend. So talk about what's kind of going into that. Stephen Milam, the other freshman, SEC Freshman of the Week. Congratulations to him. Had a good series. Came up clutch with some base hits, which it'll be the theme of these conversations that we're about to have, because they've done things this weekend that they haven't done all year, and that's hit with runners in scoring position when it actually matters. And they did that, and that's a part of the reason why they won the series. We're also going to break down the rest of the SEC, what the race looks like. There's 2 weekends left. You have this weekend on the road against Alabama, who struggled against Mississippi State. They lost the series to Mississippi State last week. LSU has 9 wins. Alabama has 10 wins, so this will be a big series for them. And then they end the season at home against Ole Miss. Ole Miss has to play
baseball.
Somebody next week. I don't know who it is.
They're playing A&M at home.
There we go. They play Texas A&M at home, which will be a big series for LSU as well. Texas A&M's coming off. They're going to have to end the season strong. They want to continue that high seeding, the high, top 8 seeds. That LSU is also fighting with Ole Miss. So, all good things for LSU. Last thing before we really get into the baseball conversation, Odell Beckham, LSU, obviously, star, signs a 1-year deal with the Dolphins. Just makes that team a little better. Feels like he's going to fit in pretty well there with Tua. We thought the same thing last year.
Dolphins are trying to copy this Kansas City Chiefs playbook. Every time they make it sound oh, good spot for him.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't they?
Yeah,
that's a good offense to model. You have an offensive play caller who's super creative. Mm-hmm. You have a quarterback who he believes in. Obviously, I think he's proven that he's a good quarterback in the NFL. So why would you not do that? So we'll see how that pans out. Obviously, I thought it was going to work out better in Baltimore. It did not. Seems like Odell is kind of ring chasing right now, which at this point in your career, that's what you do, right? You saw Tom Brady roast last night. Whew. Obviously Randy Moss was chasing a ring going to New England. Did not win that. Almost had the greatest football season of all time as a team. He may have had the best season of all time as a wide receiver, and they lose to Eli Manning. So it's hard to do it. At that point in your career, you start chasing rings, which is a normal thing to do, and I'm okay with it.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not sure he's chasing rings yet either. I think obviously he wants to go somewhere where he can win.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that'd be a big part of what he's doing, but I do think signing 1-year deals at this part of your career, you're still trying to prove that you can be an impact player somewhere elsewhere. So I think he's going somewhere where they throw the ball a lot, where they are very innovative offensively, right. And then let's be honest with it, their number 2 there has been up and down when it comes to health, which opens the door for him to have a spot to play even more.
Right.
So I think winning's a huge part of it, but I think he still sees himself in the upper echelon and wants a chance to kind of prove that.
And I hope so. And last year, he finished the year healthy, right? Wasn't hurt, came off the knee injury the year before. Or was it Achilles? No, it was knee, right? He needed knee twice. Knee. So he actually brings something to the Dolphins that they don't really have. Obviously, he's got the speed, but he's a little bit of a wider, a longer receiver, long arms, long wingspan, can go up and high point the ball. The other 2 top receivers they have are track stars that are they're super shifty and really good wide receivers. Obviously, can take the ball 100 yards at any time they want. Odell kind of gives them a little bit of a different type of guy who can go up and get and high point some balls. So we'll see what that looks like.
And Tyreek Hill might be a little distracted. 10 kids?
4 kids in 1 year.
4 kids in 1 year. That math.
We got our good friend.
We got birthday parties to go to.
We got our good friend Chris McGee joining our show today. We got the nice chairs out just for him. You're going to show our friend Chris.
There he is.
There he is. Welcome. You're this one. See, we got 3 cameras.
Camera here, camera there.
I'm still thinking about the 4 kids.
In 1 year.
In 1 year. That is wild.
And not twins. He didn't have quadruplets.
Okay. Thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah, just to let you know. Yeah.
Wow.
That's 4 different women. It's impossible to have 2 kids in 1 year and they're not be twins.
Hold on, don't.
And he was in the playbooks.
Having a great year. Coming off injury and shit. Maybe that's why he's always hurt. Maybe he had he messed his ankle up.
Softer tissue.
He maybe realized I got to get on the field because I got a lot of shit to pay for.
Talented a bit.
Yeah, got to get on the field.
It's a lot of college.
Hey, got a lot of college. Hey, get your ass back on that too.
Coach, that's a lot of alimony.
Oh man.
Well, good for him.
Congratulations, yeah.
That's what we got. Congratulations. Yes.
Life's a beautiful thing.
Roast of Tom Brady. Anybody see it? Before we really get
pieces.
I tried to watch some. It's 3 hours long.
I didn't know it was The Irishman. I mean, Jesus Christ, how long are we doing this?
Now, it was aggressive, very aggressive, very funny. I think that was, like Jared said when he walked in, old school comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Hart was a great host. Nobody was safe. People were getting hammered. Tom even had to get up and tell
Roastmaster Jeff Ross.
Jeff Ross
Take it
Hey,
down.
Hey, that's the
can't
one.
say that. Don't say that shit again.
That was a little bit over.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's too
there
much.
must. I don't know, NDAs,
Yeah.
whatever was signed, whatever was said, whatever was like, hey, that one crossed the line. Everything else about Giselle, about Gronk, about Kim K. Kim K got
Kardashian.
fucked.
Wow,
up.
man.
She got crushed.
That's really the one. Jared sent me that. And
Yeah.
That was.
She got. I mean, that guy was hammering everybody. I don't even know who that guy is.
Well, I do now.
I do now, but I didn't know. He was hammering everybody. All of that. Okay.
Bob Kraft.
I didn't.
No.
I
Jerk off
didn't see the
joke?
whole thing. Did anybody
I
get
didn't
to
see
tell
the whole
get to tell jokes about Bob Kraft, or was that like the only one that got
I
mixed?
didn't see.
Because that may be what it was. Like, hey, bro, I'm just letting you know I'm gonna do this. Stay off of him.
Wow.
Maybe that's what it was.
They made some jokes about Bob, but that one was off
'Cause
the
that one
table,
was-
and that's what people were like. Oh, it's a part of the skit. Like Tom's gonna get up and like, hey, maybe it's a part of the show, but nobody talked about that after. So I was like, I think that was like a
Yeah, it was
whoa, 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 whoa,
genuine.
whoa. I don't know
Yeah.
if you know that.
You could tell the way he said it. That's genuine.
Yeah, I don't know. I only watched 25 minutes of it.
Oh, well, you
So
got a
far,
whole lot more to
I got a
go.
lot left. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be like a week long thing. I'm gonna have to every time I have some free time.
You're not gonna
No,
watch
maybe
it.
not the way
I'll
I'm
watch.
feeling tonight.
No shit.
Was it
No
live?
shit. Live.
Yeah, it was the first time.
Netflix first live. The next live event I think is the Mike Tyson Jake Paul boxing match.
Wow.
Right, which I know it's not gonna happen. I would love for Tyson to drop him, but
He's an underdog.
it's
huh?
not
So?
gonna happen.
Tyson's the underdog.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
But they changed. They made it an
He's
actually.
65.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's a senior citizen.
Still,
yeah, of
still
course
like
he'd
the
be
chase. Still like
He
my
can take Medicare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's going to his
Medicare.
Part C
He's
and
on-
D
yeah.
right now. Like,
Yeah.
of course he's
No
the
doubt.
underdog.
Yeah, but I don't want to
Mike
step
Tyson,
in there.
though, you know?
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
the
Yeah.
punch
like
still.
he's
The punch still has.
He just like he's gonna knock the guy out.
Yeah,
You know? Maybe.
Maybe.
Or eat his ear. One of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be the
That's
little.
maybe,
you know,
but he's the
all
underdog.
entertainment. I would love for them to knock him out. That would be
Hey,
great.
if Mystic Dan can do it, Tyson
Which,
can
by
do
the
it.
way, we didn't even talk about the Kentucky Derby mostly because I forgot that it was going on Saturday afternoon. What a derby! Did you watch it?
No, we
Nope.
did not
Did you see
watch
the highlights?
derby. I did not see the
Okay.
highlights. No.
You missed it. Listen, the guy. What's his name?
Was it a nose?
Mystic
Like,
Dan.
Nose, like legit three horse race at the nose.
Wow.
The dog, the 20-1 odds to win.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
So
hey,
Yeah, the
but
the favorite was coming in hot, and the dog held him off by a nose.
20-1. Wow.
20-1.
Yeah, I'd hate to put money on it.
Yeah, you did that.
Did
and
you?
then you doubled down on the LSU game on Saturday.
On
Won that one,
Saturday.
too.
Yeah, big leg, 16.
Big day for you, huh?
Oh,
Big
great day.
Big day. It
Got
wasn't all
one
him
day.
though. It was split amongst the team.
Mm-hmm.
Got wild on Cinco de Mayo after that, huh? You were.
I didn't even know it was Cinco de Mayo. I
Oh,
saw
wow.
he had a tequila shot.
Yeah, that was not. That was the owner of the place who knew my wife because she used to sell liquor to him. And he was like, "Why don't you take a tequila shot?" And I was like, "Okay, I guess I don't want to, but I will."
Yeah, hey, sure,
I like
sure.
that place, man. It's a good place.
A La Coretta?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Food's good. Service was good. You can get in there. Superior's great. It's hard to get in there.
Mm.
You know, especially Cinco de Mayo. I'd imagine it was probably packed. I mean, that's they look forward to that day all year. Yeah, I mean, a lot of $20 margaritas being sold.
So what happens to the Mexican restaurant on Monday? Like, do people go to a Mexican restaurant today?
Like, is this like the day after their Super Bowl?
Like,
They
if I
can
go
sit down
today,
there-
like, no one's in there, right?
That's a good
Right.
question. Because nobody wants Mexican 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
Or do you?
It's like Black
Might try
Friday.
to try it out after this.
Maybe
Might have to
you
go down to
maybe you wanna
Superior
go.
and see if anybody's in there.
Maybe you want to go.
There we go.
Y'all open?
They got a nice little bar area, so maybe someone wants to go. Maybe it was a tough Monday for somebody, and they need to get a couple drinks.
Tequila.
I'd imagine it's very, it's a slow night.
That's your
I'd have
herd
to
might be
imagine.
in there.
Oh, wow. Wow. We went there.
Let's just go. You're jumping right to the baseball talk.
Okay. Can I say that about
You can
that?
say, talk. Speak up.
Man, the most disappointing stuff is you got Cam Johnson and Thatcher Hurd where you just thought that they were going to be something.
And Paxton. You can add Paxton
Just empty, you know? God,
Yeah, it's been tough.
you feel bad for the kids, though, too.
He looked defeated.
He looked
Because look,
defeated.
they're kids.
Kids.
They are young men and they are not professionals.
He
So
wanted-
you don't want them to do bad.
He wanted to throw strikes. He wanted to be out there.
Right.
Well-
just
Maybe.
Body language is a hell of a thing.
right.
He didn't
And
wanna
that's
be
the
out
other
I
thing.
don't think so.
Like you can see confident.
Uh-huh.
You can see the confidence through body language a lot of times.
So-
And
Well, he wanted those strikes. I'm not sure he wanted to
no
be out
doubt.
there.
No, once he
And
did
I've
throw
been
strikes,
there.
I don't think he wanted
I've
to be
been-
out.
it's
It's like,
hard.
oh no.
It's hard when
Rick
you
and
can't.
Keel.
It's hard when you don't know what's going on. You can't figure it out to fake that body language for a long time, especially when you're the pitcher and you're on the mound and you get the ball and everybody's staring at you.
Hey, but here's the thing too. You talk about you've been there before. Like
I've never been. No, I'm not.
No, I mean not on the mound. I just mean like that struggling point.
And bad. I've had some bad body language.
But you never really been to it in this spot right here, which I gotta feel like is probably a little bit different, right? Because like there's levels to everything. You've done it, and you've been to a struggling spot in AAA. You've been to a struggling spot, but this is his time to go and make a check and make a chance to get to that next spot, and he could just see it just dwindling
away.
every pitch that he throws.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
No,
Especially after the high of what you ended last year.
Yeah.
That's a different spot that
Yeah.
I can say I don't know that we've had that experience.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in college, professionally,
There was
there's
nowhere to
sometimes,
run.
you know, the year I got DFA'd was pretty. 0 for 23 to start the season was pretty brutal. I was walking around like a little baby, you know, and that's on me.
It's hard.
Right? I
had a 2 for 50 start. Yeah, it's tough.
It's just very hard. It's
Tough.
very hard. You know, and it's human nature, and it's one of the hardest things you have to fight.
2 for 50.
Yeah.
This thing's gonna turn around. I guarantee it.
Oh, it's comical.
Well, it's got to.
That's what I want. Like
The law
Some
of big
point,
number says
the next
ain't
50's
no
got to go
way.
better.
At some point, I got DFA'd. Here's the deal: I got DFA'd, and the next month and a half in AAA, I hit 450
Yeah.
for a month and a half. So that was cool.
Just-
Not really,
just
because
not in the
now
majors.
there's no chance of getting back up. So
So not to change the subject, still
No,
on
change
baseball.
it. No, go
not
for it.
still on baseball.
okay.
Because I have never seen it live except for when I watched Mikie Mahtook play in AAA against or whenever you go.
Oh yeah,
the four outfilders.
yeah. Oh yeah, when they did to me.
Went to go see Mikey play, Charlotte Knights. Mikey hits like 3 home runs in the weekend, and all of a sudden they got 4 outfielders out there. A&M did that to Bear Jones this weekend. Did y'all see
Yeah,
that?
crazy.
They were changing gloves. I'd never seen that either.
Yeah.
They would hand the glove. Did y'all see that? They would bring
Yeah.
the glove out there to the second baseman, and he'd run out there to
And
the.
they had to change back after the batter.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It was wild.
Crazy. See, and we actually talked about the shifts. The shifting has gotten out of hand. I said if there's one guy, like the 4 outfielders, maybe there's a time and a place and a situation for that, and they felt like that was the time and place
Bear
situation.
Jones.
What did he do that at bat? I don't remember.
He hit a homer.
Yeah, so
can't put one out there.
The first time they did it, he put a homer.
I love that.
But
him
it
in
was
the stands.
great.
I love that.
I looked at because me and Mitch were watching the game. I looked at him and I said, "Boy, they can't put a guy out there."
Can't put a guy in the stands to catch it.
Yeah.
Or
that
can
was-
you? Because the Travinsky's home run, the
Wow.
most
You can.
bizarre thing.
Speaking of,
Wow.
Oof.
what,
let's
first
talk
of all,
about.
what a bad call by the umpire.
Unbelievable.
The guy didn't affect anything. The kid did not affect. Was it a kid?
Yeah, I mean, we're off.
He
yeah.
looks 20 something.
Yeah. Okay. Young man.
Yeah.
Did not affect anything. Didn't touch the ball. Didn't reach over. First of all, the guy left fielder was not over the wall to catch it anyway.
No.
Yeah, no.
Right? And so he didn't affect anything. Ball gets in there. Call it a homer. They should have said, "Oh, double, not a homer." And
They called him out, huh?
And then they called him out because of fan interference.
Hey, can we just talk about this? Think about it
So
this
we
way.
guaranteed a catch.
There we go. Because I'm
Yeah,
thinking to myself.
right.
I'm thinking to myself, if I dive in the middle of the infield all the way across, and the throw is like a little bit off target, and it's like a bang bang play, is that a hit or is that an error?
You get a hit.
So why on earth, when the outfielder leaves his feet, are we assuming there's an out?
Right.
Leaping,
He left his feet.
leaping against
He
the wall.
left
Against the
against the
10.5
wall,
foot
left his
wall.
feet to try to make a play, and we say that's an out. Yeah, that's an out.
We go from home run to infield fly. You're gone.
Yeah.
Take you.
Yeah, that was a weird call. I don't think it was the right call.
No
Me
shit.
either.
Bob
And
Peterson
it
didn't
could
either.
have. It could
So-
have. Yeah, it could
Could've
have really
been.
changed the game.
That's the way we've been.
No doubt.
pitching
They,
our bullpen.
they left the game.
That was
with the
insurance.
running-
That was potential
We needed
insurance.
the insurance.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Y'all were watching. Y'all were at the game, right, when
Yeah.
that happened? I got to watch on TV. Kyle Peterson didn't agree with the call either. He thought they made the wrong call. He said, I don't know about that one. You know, and so that's
He
just,
was watching from home too. They weren't in the booth. That's another conversation. Can we get?
Was he?
Yes. Can we get those guys to Alex Box Stadium to watch that game?
Yeah, it's a good game to go to.
They were at
It's
home.
a good place to be.
Both games, they were at home.
Yeah, they're skimping on the money. The budget.
That's part of it.
Budget's a little tight, I think.
I still,
Got to pay James.
I don't mind as long as you.
It's got to
Spread it out, spread it
Because
out.
hey,
That's right.
his
I
raise,
get it.
he's gonna get a
Keep
raise
him at
about.
home.
He should get a raise
Keep
about a
him at
month and a
home.
half.
Keep them at home.
baby.
Keep them at home.
But outside all of that, right? A lot of things happen. Friday and Saturday night is about as good as LSU has played all year, right? Against as good of competition as they're going to face all year. On Friday, we were talking on the show about, if LSU gets out with one win, puts them in a good position going into, hey, maybe get a sweep of one of the last 2, win 5 out of the next 6, put yourselves at 13-17. Just get one, don't get swept, you still have a chance. Then they go out Friday, Gage Jump goes out there and throws his ass off.
Yep.
Right?
Fight some adversity.
We also talked about what we say. hey, if they throw strikes and don't walk guys and don't put anybody up, they're going to give up a homer.
I mean, I literally
or
said,
two or three.
I'm pretty sure I
Just
literally
don't
said
walk
on
them.
Friday, the lineup is so good that they're probably going to battle through some stuff. So you may not get out of there with like 70 pitches in 6 innings. But if you just go through not walking them and not putting guys on for free and you battle through some adversity, you may get out there giving your team a chance. I think that's exactly what he did.
No doubt. And we compared it to the first game against Texas in 2009 when Texas hit 5 home runs, but it was 5 solo homers, right? No walks, not giving them any free passes. And we were able to come back and overcome that. Similar thing happened to Gage Jump. Gave up solo homers, no walks, pitched his ass off, was a huge reason why LSU was able to win. Now, the other part of that Friday night game that LSU hasn't done all year is they were tied late in the game, and they made some big plays. They got the big hits. They had the other team make the big error that allowed LSU to score runs, and it has been reversed for the entirety of this year. They're not used to winning that, and so that was really encouraging to see.
That Pearson at bat,
double down the left field line, unbelievable.
Like season-changing type of a bat.
Yes.
Like not just that he got the hit, but the way the at bat had gone.
Yep. 1-2.
It was just doors blown off 1-2 though.
Yep.
Like the fastball's just by him, and you just think in your head, this ain't happening. And then he finds a way. He fouls off the one right before. I think is the biggest thing. He fouls it off, and and then boom, he hits it. It was.
And people think too, like, hey, like you said, doors blown off. People think all the time, like, oh, let me keep trying to throw this thing by him. But the way he's able to hit the fastball and drive it that way tells me that he knew his doors got blown off, but he loved where his swing was and knew, hey, if I just stay here
I'm not gonna get crazy.
and I pull the swing off a little bit earlier, I don't have to change anything. I'm gonna be in the right spot. That's exactly what he did.
And I think he has got to be in the lineup moving forward because that was against lefty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's proven to you that he's able to do that. He's got to be in the lineup from here on out. Speaking of being in the lineup,
what's up, youngin?
We're gonna welcome in the freshman, the new guy, Ashton Larson.
What's up, bro?
Welcome to the show.
How you doing, man?
Family gift to him.
What's up, man?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good.
I'm Chris, man.
This is my buddy Chris. He played here as well. Welcome to the show. Yep. Listen, I heard you're very quiet. I'm gonna try to open you up a little bit here. I'm gonna try to get you comfortable. There's a bunch of dudes that played ball, talking ball, hanging out. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to Baton Rouge.
Yes, sir.
Live now.
Don't yes sir either. Do not do that.
Yeah, please don't ever call me that. I feel like I just got out of LSU, and that's not the case. I've been out for.
You just say it.
Long time.
No, you know what? Let's just keep moving.
For a long time.
We're not gonna do that. No.
His wife just graduated though, so.
Yeah, right. You come from Illinois, same place Alex Lang went to high school, right? I mean, Kansas.
Oh,
Jesus!
I knew that.
Ashton, I'm gonna let you know that Mikey's very nervous.
About it. We
You're
literally
his
talked
favorite
about it
player.
before.
Didn't know he's just geography's all.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, I'm confused. I'm a baseball player, not a scholar. Same place that Alex
Athlete,
Lang
not an
came from.
athlete.
What made you choose LSU, and how has your first year been so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think Alex was a big part of that for sure. Just getting to know him when I was like 10 years old, and then training with him and being around him so much, and then coming down to the box. I think I went to the SEC opener in 2016. And no part of I was 11. I was 11.
This hurt.
I don't know why you keep doing this.
No, so but I went there, and like when I left, I told my mom that I wanted to come here and play, and so then just worked really hard and made that possible.
So wait, time out. This has been the LSU thing has been a thing for you since 2016. Like it's been just etched in your brain. Like that's where I want to go to school if I'm gonna get a chance to do this.
For sure. Yeah, I think. And then 2017, I went to the Shriners Classic in Houston.
Yeah.
And that was really cool too, just to be able to see kind of what college baseball is all about with all those different schools.
Yep.
And then I mean LSU was always like the #1 school for me for sure. And then kind of going through the recruiting process, just getting to talk to everyone and then still like being able to visit all the schools and being like, no, like this is still 100% like what I want to be a part of.
Love
this
that.
atmosphere and stuff was amazing.
What was that the differentiator? Like you went to all these other schools and you knew when you were a kid you wanted to come here, but you didn't really see anything else. Then you see it, and it doesn't change. It only, validates your thought about coming to LSU. What was it about LSU compared to the other schools that made you come here?
That's a really good question. I think the atmosphere for sure, just like the history of this program, like the getting a chance to be a part of that is something I think anyone would want to do. And then I think, I know that my goal is to be a Major League Baseball player. And I believe that the development, the amount of guys that have come through here, especially haters that have come through here, I really, yourself included.
No.
I really wanted to be a part of that too. Like that's obviously a major goal for me, and I thought that this would be the best place for me to do that.
So, a lot of guys, like it's pretty normal for freshmen to come in and they not start the year, right? It's not that normal for once you do get in it to be in the middle of SEC play and for you to just kind of hit the ground and absolutely running. The fall that you had and the prep that you put into the fall, and obviously the work that you've done in the spring, how much has that kind of prepared you to get you ready for what you are seeing pretty much on a night-to-night basis right now?
I think it was everything, because I really struggled honestly in the fall, and then a little bit. I mean, at the start of the spring too, just kind of really having to adjust and kind of slow things down. Like I feel like I had a lot of like a physical ability and like mechanics and stuff, and I'm still continuing to work on all that. But I think really like mentally and approach-wise and all those different like tangibles kind of all up in here. Like I really had to get that right. And so the opportunity that I had, and they continue to work with me like throughout that was really huge for me to be able to step in an environment. And like, obviously in the fall you face our guys, so that's SEC pitching, right? So facing SEC pitching in the fall and spring, getting used to that was really, really helpful for me. And then obviously getting those pinch hit ABs kind of, those kind of a similar,
you weren't in Kansas anymore.
Wait, so no, it's funny you say that because it's like, I know you play on the travel ball thing, so you've played probably a lot of guys and seen a lot of these guys. But when you make phone calls and a text back to you, like your boys back home right now, and they ask like, hey, dude, like, what is it like hitting in the SEC? Like, what's that conversation like? Because it's a different beast.
It's different. It's different. and I think, too, the crowd is just like a completely – it's something that, like, I feel like I've worked really hard to kind of make it not a factor for me in terms of, like, not letting my heart rate affect me. But, like, once that moment happens, like, once you take that swing and you see a ball go in the gap or once you make a play in the outfield, like, that it's, like, the most addicting feeling ever, honestly. Like, it's such a good feeling, just, like, that feeling, that crowd roar, like, running out to the field, like, to start the game, like, I love it. I can't get enough of it.
You mentioned fall, right? How much you struggled in the fall and then how much you struggled early in the spring, right? I don't think people realize how big of a jump coming from high school baseball to high-level Division I baseball is, right? You were a senior. You were a junior when I was a freshman. I couldn't sniff. I sucked, right? Like, it was hard. The adjustment was very hard because of all the things that you talked about, mental approach. These guys are super talented. These guys are all SEC pitchers of the year type guys, and you had to adjust to it. What Pearson and some of the other guys that, when I'm mentioning your name, which I think is a compliment, and we've talked about this, is they said, man, he is all ball, but he's a freshman that understands what it means to be a freshman, right? And what I mean by that is like you look to the older guys, right, for advice, and you ask questions. You understand that you're the guy and you're trying to earn your stripes and you work your ass off. It's almost like, hey, I'm going to keep my head down, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to hang out with my friends, I'm going to have a good time, and I'm going to take what the older guys say and I'm going to run with that. Have you felt like why do you think that that's your personality? And I think to me that has helped the adjustment from high school to college. At least it did for me.
For sure. No, I think two things, like being where I've always kind of been the younger guy wherever I've been, from when I started training in a facility in Kansas City called Top Speed when I was 11 years old, and that was high school, college, and like professional guys. So I was significantly younger than them. And then Alex, when I was like 15, had me come down to DST in Houston, and now it's kind of pretty much only like professional guys in those morning groups and stuff. And so kind of being down there and being in those environments where I am the younger guy and I am trying to be a sponge and I'm just trying to understand like what's going on. I think that type of situation was really, really helpful for me because that's always been huge for me in my growth. Like that's how I've gotten better, is being around people that are older than me, better than me, and just being humble about it and like trying to learn and grow as much as possible because I love working and I love getting better.
Right.
And so just kind of coming here and doing that too and just being like, no, like these guys have done it before. I mean, they just won a national championship. You know what I mean? So like they obviously know what's going on.
You said, the season started, obviously. You didn't start. You weren't getting a ton of playing time. You're getting some pinch hit at bats. Now you're leading off, right? Everyday starter. Your role has significantly changed. You're a constant worker. You do what you need to do to get better and better and better. What has changed from game one to now to where you're an everyday starter? What do you attribute to the progression, or I guess the fast forward in the progression over the last couple months?
I think the pinch hit ABs were really helpful for me, just because I really had to slow it down because I was like, I was doing pinch hit ABs, and then I wasn't playing in the outfield. So like it was like, like here's your at bat, and then if hit or not, like you're coming back out of the game. You know what I mean? So like
celebrity shot.
Right. It's kind of like just being able to like really have to slow down in that moment. And like that's kind of like a mini game for you. You know what I mean? In terms of like there's a lot of pressure in that at bat. So really having to separate everything else and like be in this moment right here. I think that really helped me a lot. And it really helped me a lot for my at bats now, to where like I learned how to take each at bat like in stride. And with that also being a competitor, where like when you have a pinch at bat, like you're coming off the bench, right? So you're not like necessarily super hot. Like you're not feeling great, right? And when I was younger and before that, I was very worried about like, oh, like do I feel this? Do I feel that? Yep. You don't really have time for a lot of that in a pinch at bat. You're just being a competitor, and in this moment you're just trying to beat that guy. Mm-hmm. And so I think that lesson and those moments were huge for me now in terms of developing me into who I am as a player and a competitor for these moments now and towards SEC play.
And you can see it through your at bats too.
For sure.
Fair to say you're like a fan of the game, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna try to tap in between like your ears a little bit here, because you're sitting here in purple and gold telling me you've been locked into LSU since you were 10 years old. Even if it's not LSU, what are some like college baseball moments that's just like etched in your brain, of like when you growing up and you're like, man, I want to do something like that?
That's a really good question. I remember the Oregon State Arkansas series. Always I watched.
When Arkansas should have won. Is that the one who dropped the second base?
Carson Shaddy in the outfield down the line. Yeah. Like that series was crazy, just because I just remember like there's a lot of great players involved, like Adley Rushman, Nick Magical, and that was a really great series. I just remember that. And then honestly, I mean, I'm from Kansas City, and so I'm only 3 hours away from Omaha, and so I would go to Omaha.
Oh, we know
a lot. I'd go to Omaha a lot, and I'd go to those games. I'd go be in the outfield experience and go be a part of that. So kind of always being around college baseball and just knowing that was the goal, and knowing that was a goal to be
the next step.
Stuff,
yep.
right?
That's something I think that's pretty cool for kids that are literally in like the radius of Omaha, where it's like growing up in Louisiana, it's something cool that you get to do because you get to see it in LSU, and you're blessed to get the opportunity to come see a university like this play baseball, because you don't get that everywhere. Mm-hmm. But also living in that radius for a 2-week span every year, you can drive down there and you see the best. And it's something that's really cool to kind of stimulate the guys in that area. Be like, man, I want to do something like this one. That's pretty cool.
I'm sorry.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Look, get the mic.
I gotta get the mic.
That's why you're here.
Back for you.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you about Alex. So you talked about your relationship with Lang. How often do you talk to him? Is he fired up for you getting the chance? Like, what's kind of that communication with him at this point?
Nice, that was good.
Back to you. Yeah, good work. Good work.
You're like a seasoned vet. Yeah. He's not. He's a celebrity guest sometimes.
You're the celebrity. I'm just a guest.
No, I talked to him this morning. So he's awesome. He's fired up. And I'm always fired up for him. Like just always keen to see he's having an awesome role with the Tigers right now, and it's awesome to watch him compete. And that was a big role model for me in terms of that too. But he's excited. He's just like keep going. Like before I was like stay ready, and then be good in those moments and just keep going. And nothing's changed. You know, like I still am learning. I'm still getting better. Like I still have failure. I still have success. You know, so and the same for the team. You know what I mean? Like we're just all learning, trying to get better and better in those moments. You know.
And I want to get to the team conversation, but I want to focus on you just for a little bit more. When your role started to expand, right? It was a spot start here, played well. Okay,
well, pinch hit at bat, you know.
Played well, pinch hit at bat, tough AB, 5, 7, 8, 10 pitch at bat, walk, whatever it is, right? Grinder at bats, and all of a sudden you start seeing your name in the lineup. Did Jay have a conversation with you beforehand and be like, hey, this is what I think we're going to do in the future? Or is it almost just like you started playing well, and you just walk in every day expecting to see your name in the lineup?
Yeah, I mean, I had consistent conversations with Coach Johnson in terms of like he was like happy.
Yeah, I gotta call him Coach Johnson.
Coach Johnson.
No,
that's great. That's what you're supposed to call him. So good. As a freshman, no doubt. Keep going. Sorry.
Anyway,
Lloyd doesn't like him.
Yeah, this guy's an idiot. Don't let him affect you.
He's a degenerate, so don't worry.
I just consistent conversations with him. There was never like hey, like you're our starter now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like just consistently like, hey, like you're doing really good right now. Like just keep going. You know, like that's just kind of what it was. And yeah, there was nothing like really like, oh, like here's like this. Like there was just, you're doing great, keep going. And then we talk about like different spots and different things like that. But yeah.
They didn't bring you like a cookie cake.
No, hey, like congratulations, you're starter now.
Yeah, and that did you, as you were playing, like you started to get like pinch hit at bats, and then you start playing a little bit more consistently. Maybe it'd be a midweek. Did you ever start to see like there's gonna be a spot, like there's a spot available, like I can go and get it, like I can take this job and become, whether it be right fielder, center fielder, whatever, but like I'm gonna put myself in the lineup because I can see there's an avenue for me to be an everyday player here now.
I mean, honestly, I was just trying to stay ready for each day. You know, so I mean, just being able to compete. If it's a pinch hit at bat, I'm ready to go. If I saw my name in the lineup, like I didn't really change anything based on based on like any day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Don't let Lloyd try to pin you down.
Yeah.
Teammates over there. Don't let him do it to you.
That's how Lloyd would be.
Yeah, Lloyd's
Lloyd
selfish.
do that
No,
too.
no, we talked on the show. They both said that at some point you got to get selfish when you see an opportunity. It's
No,
like, that's what Jared said.
That's not how he said it, though. That's not how he said it. But
Get greedy.
Oh my
Go ahead.
God.
Go ahead.
Your mindset and how you go about how you approach things. Is this just from like a baseball? Like what else is in your background? You play other sports growing up? You got older brothers? You got sisters that beat you up? Like what? Talk about what you got.
I got a younger sister. She's great. She was here.
So your younger sister beat you up. Okay.
No, I mean baseball's always been what I wanted to do my entire life. Like
Yeah.
since I could walk and talk, I've never said I wanted to do anything else. You know, and I just love it. I love being a part of it.
That's
I love
a firm
everything
memory.
about it.
Yeah,
It's for her.
no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm sure you get this question all the time, right? Do you model your game after? I used to hate the question, but it's, there's so many good young Major League Baseball players right now that it's, growing up, it's fun to watch these guys. And I used to try to model my game after Torrey Hunter, right? That's who I love. That's who I'll try to do it. Do you have anybody in the big leagues that you try to model your game after?
You're tan too.
I think
He's getting there.
I've tried. I said model my game, not my, me. Right? I tried to get real tan this week. I couldn't get there.
That's a good one though. Seriously.
No, I think from a hitting perspective, Corey Seager.
Oh, that's a great one.
Like just how he first of all, like how he goes about.
What do you like about him hitting?
So I mean, mechanically, it's.
I'm about to say,
it's
he's a mechanical freak.
And it's simple.
Yeah.
Right, and like again, like it's exactly like the presets and how he goes about, and that's kind of how I'm trying. Like my hitting coach, like we try to preset as many things as possible to where like you don't have to like move anything to get it there. Like it's set, so it's meant to move correctly. Like you set your scap, you set your back hip, like set like doing all that. So, but he's huge on that, right? Like if you watch him get in the box, like he literally sets his hips so that when he like does his step and then gets down through the ball, it's just that's all it is.
Yeah.
And then he also talks a lot about his daily prep work before the game. It's based on the starting pitcher and like getting himself set up in the lanes that the pitcher's trying to get him in.
Wow.
And so like just trying to stay through lanes and just really just trying to think about it in like a really advanced way and a very mature way, like each day in terms of like, oh, like I'm not like over like just being too simple and stuff.
All right, we're gonna flip this thing back kind of to like now this season a little bit. How do you feel about where you guys are today with obviously what's ahead of you and with the opportunity that you still have right now as a team?
I feel great. I mean, honestly, like, we're still playing, right? So, like, I mean, just going out there, I mean, the series against A&M was awesome.
Awesome.
You know, like, that was really cool to be a part of. And, again, the atmosphere, again, like, just competing against a team and, like, playing well in all facets of the game was really, really cool and really great for our team. So, I mean, just trying to continue doing that. You know, I mean, we're super, super talented and super I mean, we're playing together really well right now. So that's exciting.
So you start off, obviously, beginning of the season, you weren't starting, right? You're coming off the bench, you're getting some opportunities, but you weren't in there every day. And y'all went through a gauntlet, right? Y'all had number 1 team in the country, number 3 team in the country, number 3 team in the country, whatever. Like 4 of the first 5 teams you played were top 10. And now Mississippi State's kind of creeping their way into the top 15 in the country. So they're actually better than people thought they were. So it was 5 weeks of just a gauntlet. Then y'all flipped the script. Y'all win y'all's first series against Missouri, then against Auburn. Nobody expected y'all to beat A&M. Then you win A&M. But that was your first marquee, big series where you were really, the everyday guy. You talked about the atmosphere. Can you feel the difference in a game like that as opposed to, playing
midweek against Grambling?
No, not midweek. That's, of course, you can see the difference there. But like against, an Auburn.
Midweek against Grambling.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think what's really cool about LSU is it isn't just like, oh, like this one game or like it has to be the number 1 team in the country. I mean, obviously it's SEC play over and it's pretty much you're going to play a ranked team every time, but like, or almost every time. But like, that when it's SEC play, it's conference play. I mean, all those weekend games, the atmosphere's crazy every time. I think the night games are always just a little bit more different. Like that's something like I've noticed. But like, I mean, just the electricity of that, like playing under the lights and all that, that's always super cool. But I mean, honestly, like Auburn all the series, all the conference play like has been super cool to watch and be a part of.
Before you went on the Missouri series, did the team basically have a conversation in the mindset of, now look, I know Jay has always talked about you approach every game as like a 1-game season and everyone's a new, which I completely understand. But at that same mindset, I guess you will, going into that Missouri series was pretty much, all right, it's time to go. Did y'all start approaching the season as like, hey, this is literally playoff time and it's you're playing for the rest of your life right here?
I think there was definitely like, I mean, that was reality. You know what I mean? So like, I mean,
so you knew.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? But like, I mean, I try, and I think a lot of our team tries too. Like, I mean, it's playing every day with that competitiveness, but then it's also not changing anything based on any moment. You know what I mean? So like, there's pitches where like the whole game like swings on that one pitch, but like you can't go like when it's that pitch, you can't change, you can't tense up, you can't try to do more in that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, trying to do more in that weekend series, that wasn't the solution. To me, like I didn't change anything about my at bats. Like I was just trying to compete. And like stay in the same.
I guess that's where the question came from, because with experience, you get an opportunity to know what a situation is, quote unquote, before you go into it. So for a lot of this team, we had younger guys and guys coming in from different spots and not truly knowing what, hey, this third weekend against such and such team that's coming in that's really good after we've struggled the first 2 weeks, this could really mean a lot, as opposed to like, hey, now we got time, we can kind of get going. And then you get to a point in the season where you no longer have time, right? Mm-hmm. And it's not to say that once the first pitch is thrown, you change at bats, but it's to say going into it, you start realizing like, hey, it's not time to mess around. Like this means a little bit more. You approach it the same way, but I need you to know this before you get on the field today.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess for me personally, like just being able to be like, I mean, there is like a bit more reality of like, okay, like I am continuing to learn, but like it's like, okay, like no, like there's spots right now where like I'm supposed to do super well right here. And again, with that, I mean, understanding like expectations of that. But then for me personally, like I still have to stay within my plan. Yep. I'm still within my approach. I still have to take this changeup down. I still have to take this fastball up. Right. Like I mean, just being able to focus on everything that I need to do to have success in this moment. Because again, like this moment is something, and this circumstances and stuff like that. But like nothing there's no success in those circumstances if you were thinking about that in that moment. You know, like I'm just trying to stay present.
It's about the process, right? Like, hey, you trust that you do what you're doing is the right thing, and you continue to do the right thing all the time and compete. At some point, it's going to flip, right? And you had mentioned one pitch or two pitches here and there in a game can determine the game and swing the momentum, right? Leading up to this weekend, it seems like in those moments, it always felt like it went the opposite direction, right? And that happens through the course of some seasons, and sometimes it's really hard to get out of it. But when it does flip, you can kind of feel that in the dugout, right? And I felt like this weekend, y'all had those opportunities, and they went your way, right? Mm-hmm. The Pearson double down left field line, I think, was like the main one where that was finally like, oh, see, you continue to do the right things and compete, and it's going to end up turning for you, and it's lasted a lot longer than y'all probably wished. Did you feel that sense of like, okay, there it is, now we go, type of mentality in the dugout after that?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the energy was great all weekend. You know, I was on third when he hit that, so he hit that like kind of like right past me, and like it was awesome to see. I mean, and then for everyone after that, like the energy was great in the dugout. I mean, Christian Little was amazing. I mean, all the pitching.
No, yeah, we haven't gotten there, yeah.
All the pitching was fantastic. You know, so again, just to have people come through in those big spots, and then again, just continue keeping everything rolling was awesome.
You speak about the pitching coming through, and we kind of talked about that a little bit over this past week and how things have been changing on that side of it. Look, we're gonna just go to the sheer numbers of it, right? They were top 2 or top 3 in the league in walks. So all I'm getting at is the amount of pitches you have to throw to be walking people. When you see them throw the way they've thrown over the last couple of weeks, and they're challenging the zone, they're pounding the zone, they're getting ahead early, they're getting you guys on and off the field, how much more has that helped y'all as an offense to be able to get back into the dugout and start swinging again, and you kind of basically taking control of the game?
No, I think that's big, and I think it's a two-way street, right? So like if like they're competing and they're battling, and then we come in and they have a 4-pitch inning, and we're right back out there on defense. Like I think there's give and take of that. So like just it's awesome for both sides to like have momentum to where like I mean they're competing. It's a quick inning, and then we hit for a while. You know, like when it's in reverse and that's us and they compete, and then we have a quick inning, like that hurts them. You know, so like. Again, just continuing to do things well on all sides of the ball. I mean, it's been awesome.
And I think from the outside looking in, people truly don't understand because all you really see is what goes on the field, and then you look at the numbers, you're like, well, this is this. Speak about how talented the pitching staff is, because we obviously know how talented they are. And then when they go out there and do it, it's not a surprise once you start seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone on our team works incredibly hard, and the pitching staff was ridiculous. I mean, I got to see it firsthand in the fall and spring, obviously. You know, like. Where it's like, wow, like, I mean, from top to bottom, like, it's an incredibly talented group, you know, like, and then, like, you got guys, like, that are, like, kind of leading us, like Luke and Gage, that are coming out every single weekend and giving quality starts and just being dogs out there and competing and throwing strikes, locating, punching guys out. And then, like, I thought what was really cool was, like, another big moment from the weekend was, like, the bases loaded. And I think Luke struck three.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And I think it was, like, a 9 pitches, too, which is, like, ridiculous. Huge. You know, like, you're like, wow, like, that's ridiculous stuff. So, like, to have success, and then, again, in big moments and big spots where it's high pressure, high leverage moments, like, they've been really, really good lately. So, it's, I mean, awesome.
Who took you on your visit when you came here?
Good segue.
Yeah.
I think it was, I mean, we kind of just did, like, the team dinner. It was the Bama weekend.
So who was it?
No, it was really cool. No, actually, I mean, Alex was down there. It was down too for the weekend. So
nice.
I hung out with him. So it was really cool. And some of the guys from Larsen.
I'm glad you said that, right? Because coming to LSU, obviously, on-field stuff's awesome, right? But I think what makes LSU so great is the camaraderie that the guys have off the field, and doing things together, being able to enjoy football season,
Halloween parties
maybe,
visits maybe.
What?
Visits maybe.
Well, yeah, that's before you get to college. Then you're in college, you're hanging out with your boys, and you're kind of the first time that you're away from home for a long period of time. What has been some of the stuff that you've enjoyed most off the field here that maybe you really weren't expecting coming to Baton Rouge?
That's a really good question. I think the food has been really good, first of all.
There we go.
Just really kind of enjoying that and kind of being around like that different area, like really different food. And I mean, I think hanging out with the team has been really awesome too.
Do you all have to live on campus? Like freshmen have to live on campus?
Yeah, we live on campus. We live in like a dorm or Nicholson Gateway.
The new spot. We used to live in
what room?
WCA.
I'm just kidding.
No. So I mean that was really cool. I mean again like where you're like living like right on campus, like we're like a 2-minute walk away from Tiger Stadium, or like a minute drive away from Alex Box, like where it's just like, and then like our food, the nutrition centers like all right there. Like that was really cool. Just to be like, I mean, and then our academic centers right there too. So like having everything like right there is just really nice and convenient to where it's like, okay, everything here is set up for me to succeed.
Yeah.
You know, and so like being able to see that and then just kind of operate within that makes things really simple.
Kind of piggyback. Give me your mic.
Yeah.
Kind of piggyback on Mikey's question. You know, when I came to school, a guy named Mike Hollander was kind of this for me. But who has been kind of for you leadership on the team, or when you first got here, or even here going through the season? You know, if you just need to look around and see someone doing the right thing, or someone you can kind of glean something from, who's been that person for you on the team? Or people.
Yeah.
Sure, the mic. It's okay.
That's a really good question. I think like, for me, just in terms of like going about their business every day, like seeing how Tommy like just goes about his approach, especially like in game too, like not just, like pregame and stuff like that. Sure. Just seeing like how consistently he's in position and different stuff like that is awesome. And then like. Just being around guys like Pearson, guys like Jared, guys like Paxton, like being around those guys and how they work and how they do different things is really, really good too.
I didn't mean to get you in trouble.
No.
Who's the funniest guy on the team?
I'd say JP Pearson.
We've heard that a lot.
I've heard that a lot.
We've heard he comes in here and he's like, you know, he's very stoic.
Yeah.
You know, every smiles with the mustache every now and then. You know, but like never.
He's like wanting to laugh like right now.
We've heard. Listen, I mean, you don't have to share. I was gonna say, what's the funniest thing you did? I'm sure you know, but funniest thing that he's done that like you know maybe is suitable.
It doesn't have to be that G-rated.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's just always got some pretty funny one-liners.
He's like a one-liner guy. Yep,
Yeah.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I can see a very
guy.
dry one-liner guy. I feel like that's a big clutch hitter like that. DJ Mayhew, one-liner guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? He didn't talk much, very quiet.
Literally one-liner
but
guy.
funny when he would drop the lines. No, just clutch guys. Like come up with big hits, you know, at big times. No, they're not the same player, obviously. But as far as like coming up with the big clutch hit, I don't know. You know, because there's a lot of different personalities. Was there not somebody that bad personality, but when you walked in there as a freshman, how do you adjust to these different personalities, right? Because everyone is the best player from their high school team, right? Everyone is kind of like, alpha is such a terrible term, but like the guy, right? The leader of their team. And now they come into a clubhouse where you have a bunch of those guys. And sometimes it takes some time to kind of navigate through those personalities. As a freshman, especially, it's kind of intimidating. You walk in, you're like, damn, this team just won the World Series. I came in, they just went to Omaha.
Hayden Travinsky's 30 years old.
Yeah, like they're big dudes. They're kind of, how do you adjust to that, personality-wise, like culture-wise, as a freshman?
No, I mean, for me, just I've kind of always just tried to like stay within like what I'm trying to do, like where I don't have to have like a huge personality or like aspect like in the clubhouse. Honestly, a lot of how funny guys are, you know what I mean? Like that was always something that was funny. You know what I mean? Just like the different like
he likes
the
a good
dynamic
laugh.
and the like.
I can tell.
No, you know what I mean? Like, but like just seeing honestly like kind of spectating more in terms of that.
No, that's great.
That's
that is a key freshman attribute.
As a rookie, they say be seen, not heard.
Yeah.
Right?
So.
Like, and that's not a mean thing. It's just like, hey, dude, like, fall in line for now, figure out how it works out, and then
develop yourself.
Earn that, and then you can say whatever you want to say. And I think that's the best way to go about it. And you learn everybody's personalities that way.
Yeah, no, so
right? I figured out that he used to like to fight with one of our other teammates all the time.
Whoa.
Right? And I didn't know. I thought they didn't like each other, but they were really best friends. You had to see that. Right?
It was like fight.
No, like you and Buzzy. It was always
a good time. The boys had a good time.
Always. But it was always like never really fought. They were just kind of fighting.
Whether it be like in the fall, whether it be in the weight room, whether it have been during the season this year, what was your like, oh shit, like this is college ball moment? Like, when did it finally hit you that like this was a little different than what you had going through in life already?
From like a competition standpoint, I think second inter squad, I faced Thatcher, and it was like 96 or like 97 mile an hour fastball, and that was like middle, and I took it, and then he threw the next pitch that looked the same to me at that time, and like I swung at it and it turned left and almost hit me in the back of the slider, and then he threw the same pitch and I swung at it again, and it took like there was like a 30-second at bat, and it's like, okay, like I need to make adjustments here, you know what I mean? Like I need to do a better job recognizing pitches, you know. So I think for me, like that was one from a competition standpoint. It was like, oh yeah, like
that's a little bit different.
It's a different deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Who was your guy when you came as a freshman? Well, you didn't have a fall. You don't. Oh, I didn't have a.
No. I didn't have a fall, and like I don't know. I jumping into it, playing a lot that year. I played a lot, and I can honestly still tell you, like there was some good arms and stuff we saw that year. Like we saw Dallas Keuchels. I saw some good arms that year. But I'll never forget the last series of the year. We went on down to Vanderbilt. Went on down to Nashville. Went to play Vanderbilt, and we rolled up there on a Friday night. And when we showed up that day, I'll never forget it, bro. He was literally throwing across the entire outfield, and it wasn't like a run throw. It wasn't like a huge crow hop. It was like a walk into BB across the outfield, like it was nothing. I'm like, what on absolute earth is that? And who's doing this? Well, obviously it was David Price at the time. So facing him that year from the left side, he's every bit of 6'7". He's coming from here. He was 96 to 98 that day. I was like, yeah, this is a little different. And obviously he was a big league ace for a number of years. So like that goes to show you it was different. But that was mine. I was like, all right, bro, that was.
See,
thanks for the SEC.
Mine was in the fall. My first first inter squad scrimmage. My first at bat was against Lewis Coleman.
When he was stepping in the dugout?
He's a righty, steps across his body, throws sidearm at 94 miles an hour. So the ball always looks like it's coming behind you as a righty. And then he throws a slider that's very nasty. And I told myself, I was like, I don't care where this ball goes. I just want to not strike out. Like I need to like prove to myself, prove to coach that like I'm gonna do it. I hit the ball 3 inches in front of home plate off the end of the bat, which I wish I would have struck out now. I think that would have been better had I
Can't go worse.
Had I not had to like get it, and then he didn't tag me in time, so then I had to run down the line as a freshman, run full speed, obviously. So yeah, like I was like, damn, this is different. Like this is, and then Lewis Coleman ended up winning SC Pitcher of the Year. Yeah. Like, that was even before the season. So I imagine you talked about the Thatcher story. That was my Thatcher story, right? Yeah. So it's a tough adjustment. You really quickly, I got to work hard. For sure. You got to figure it out. You going?
Yes, I need hard work.
No? You're done? All right, moving forward, right? A couple more questions and we'll let you go. Obviously, since that Missouri series you said is reality, the reality is still there that you have every game is like a playoff game. You'll have to win. You'll have to basically win the game that's in front of you to get to the next one, fighting for your postseason lives. Feels like y'all are playing better baseball. Feels like y'all feel that same way too. What is the message moving forward these last two series? Is Jay talking about the big picture, or is he more focused on, hey, we got to win this and win that, and then just get in there and we'll see what happens after that?
Yeah, I mean, I think just continuing to be, I mean, it's just kind of the same message where it's like first we got a game tomorrow, which we have to win. So just kind of, again, staying within that one game at a time approach, and yeah, I mean, the next 2 weeks we obviously have to continue playing well, so just got to continue doing what we're doing.
Real quick, these guys always talk about like a whiteboard moment, like when the coach rolls in the whiteboard, like Benary was big on this, like, all right, this is the plan. Like you get to a point where it's like, all right, I'm going to spell it out for everybody here. Like, are we either going to do it or we're not, and this is how we're going to do it? Did that happen with Coach Johnson? And were you like, okay, this is legitimately real right now? Like, we don't have another way to look at this other than we're going to have to win every game we play, essentially.
I think one time, or like during like one of the speeches, like he did kind of like run through like, this is like how many games we need to win, like this is and then like since then he's kind of been more like just again like in a daily like we're right here today, and again like again reality is
reality is you have to win this,
reality is right,
yeah,
and so like again, but you can't win them all tonight,
right?
You know what I mean? You have to win one tonight, so like just again trying to stay within that.
you think everybody that's in that locker room is aware of things like Ole Miss winning a national championship 2 years ago when they were 7-15 in the league, and teams that have the 3 seed and 4 seed in these regionals and still doing well? Like, do you think there's some awareness of that, or is it so focused on, hey, just got to win today, that we're not even thinking that far down the road about those things?
So Jim,
or did I just make you aware?
No, for sure. No, I think most of us, and I think he's mentioned it before. Like this is going to be like a great story. You know what I mean? And that is kind of the thought process of it too. Like, this is going to be a great story. Like, we are rolling right now. Like,
don't let the Tigers get hot.
Don't let LSU get hot.
Right. Yeah. So yeah. There's again, like, you can go big picture and then you can go like little picture. Yeah. Just doing both, and I think it's important. And I do that for myself too. You know what I mean? Like, where it's like, okay, like, this is big picture. Like, I want to do this, but you accomplish that by being right here.
Kind of like a PIP, picture in picture.
Like that. What is so that there's a little bit of a learning process when you come in, obviously, for the Coach Johnson, and you. What's the worst that Coach Johnson has gotten on you so far this year?
I scored from first against Mississippi State on a Braswell. I think he doubled. And I kind of got tied up rounding third, and I just wasn't running very fast at all. And the play was way closer at home than it should have been, and I was safe. But I got in the dugout, and like he made sure that I wasn't hurt. Is what that's
his shit.
But he was just, and he's been fantastic to me. You know what I mean? Like, where it's like he has been supporting me and like helping me grow. But in that moment, like, he was not super happy.
He just wanted to make sure you weren't hurt, though.
Yeah.
Let me make sure before I get real unhappy. Are you hurt? No.
Right.
Okay, now I can be unhappy.
You
better be.
It was like make sure that wasn't very good. So.
When we first got here, one of the cool things for me was the road trips, right? You got the first time you got the
itineraries.
The itineraries, the whole package list, the suitcase. But traveling, right, with your teammates, you're flying, you're going to all these places, you're flying private, you're getting off on the tarmac, you're walking into a hotel. Everybody knows who you are because you're LSU, you're coming in. It almost feels big league-ish, right? It almost feels like, we get off the plane, we get in the bus, we go to the field, we walk into the hotel, everybody sees us. And then I enjoyed seeing the other colleges. Do y'all have like a road routine? Like, is that something that you've enjoyed, going on the road trip and kind of experiencing that? Because some of our best memories are being on the road together and, figuring out how to pass the time or do whatever. Pizza, we get pizza every Thursday. Y'all definitely don't do that. Y'all eat healthy now.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Playing on the road's been awesome. I've really, again, enjoyed exactly what you're saying. Where it's like you're traveling with your team. It's just the team. You know what I mean? Like, there's only the people that are on that plane that's who you're coming with. You know what I mean? And so I think it really helped. Everyone helped me get closer with everyone, get to know people better. And then again, like, kind of going into into a different school and competing against them in front of their crowd. Where it's like, where it's like when, especially playing outfield, it's like when you're, again, playing in those atmospheres, playing in with those student sections and stuff. That
was different. You've never heard anything as wild as we've heard. I'll just leave it at that.
But y'all played at Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Played Mississippi State and Arkansas.
Ask Chris about his time there. Yeah.
And Arkansas.
I was not in the outfield against Mississippi State, but I was against Arkansas.
Arkansas is bad too now.
Nothing. Ashton, I'm gonna tell you, the biggest blessings you've had on earth so far is you did not have to play in the outfield at Mississippi State. It was bad, and I don't even know if I've talked to you guys about this, but that was a
blessing.
That was a series that my parents actually went on the road to watch the game, which they didn't always go on the road games. And I played right field on Friday night, and they sat like in the right field, like close to where their deal. And I don't think my mom's hugged me harder after that game. She was you could just tell, like, they felt bad for what. I slipped in the outfield, didn't make a catch, And it's like, I'd remember, like, sitting in the dugout going, oh, my God, I have to go back out here for 6 more innings. This is incredible. So Have you had any of those experiences on the road when you're in the outfield where like, man, these guys are just on me?
Relentless.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just trying to find more of the humor in it. Honestly, you know, where it's like, I mean, you're. Well, it's, I mean, it's kind of. I mean, it's part of the experience. Like, you know, like, I mean, people tell you, you know what I mean, like what it's gonna be like. So it's not like it was like, oh, like I ran out there and these guys are gonna be chill to me. Like I knew that they were.
Hey, you want something to drink? You want this?
Yeah, I knew that they were gonna give me a hard time, right? So like. Again, finding humor in it. I mean, especially like if people are creative, you know.
That's
like,
the best, right?
Or that's
but
where.
What if you don't get the creative?
Yeah, if you don't get
the
creative,
creative,
it's a little bit
right? But
okay.
but I mean, just again, like Arkansas, like I played left field like on the Sunday game and just different stuff like that where it's like, and then Knoxville like too like their kind of student section was in right, and so just kind of. Yeah, I mean,
it makes it fun.
Yeah, it does. I mean, honestly, like it's more of like it adds more to the competitive.
So you like the villain role a little bit. You like going in there and quieting the noise.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that like
it's a competitive side of you, no doubt. Like, sure, I think that's the most fun part of being able to go on the road is we're gonna beat you at home.
I like asking guys that question because I feel like you get a good feel for what you got because everybody can play at home when they're good and everybody's cheering for you. They pat you on the back. But you find out a lot about a guy if you ask them a straight up question like, "Hey, you like going on the road?" And guys are like, "Nah, I don't really like it." I'm like,
yeah,
like
I don't know.
Friday night,
like me, they found out I couldn't.
No, it's like
come here, son.
Mississippi State.
I love you, Mom.
No, it's like Mississippi State. Like I think my first SEC at bat was 2 outs, top of the ninth against Mississippi State. And so it was like everyone on their feet, you know what I mean, in Starkville. And it was like, okay, like this is what it's all about. And like I took a couple of close pitches at bat. And it was like, I've never had so many people in my life that are like actively cheering for you to fail in this moment.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And where it's like, oh, this is a different experience. And it's like, no, this is like, again, more competitiveness to that. And so like, and everything kind of slowed down in that moment. And so like, I really enjoyed it, and then I think that was another one of those moments that really helped me like learn a lot in that spot.
No doubt.
So, yeah.
Hey, you're just sidebar. We've enjoyed watching what you're doing.
No doubt.
You may not have a bigger fan in the city of Baton Rouge than this guy right here. So I'm just letting you know, like, keep going, bro.
Yeah,
it's been impressive.
Yeah, man, I like the way you go about it. I like the way you talk about it. You have the right demeanor. You have the right mindset. It's been fun for me to watch. It's been fun for everybody to watch. Good luck the rest of the way. Like, we're gonna obviously be tuning in, watching. I think y'all put yourselves in a really good position to finish the season out strong and make a really special run at the end of the year and kind of create y'all's own story, right? Something that people are gonna talk about next year. Man, LSU was 6-12, 7-14 in conference, and look what they did at the end of the year, right? So, good luck. We'll be watching. We appreciate you coming on. Hopefully, we can have you on after y'all make an World Series.
Absolutely. Sounds great.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Yep.
Nice to meet you, dude. Oh, yeah.
Microphone first.
Nice to meet you, dude. Yep.
Brother. Good luck. Keep doing your thing.
See you, brother. Good luck tomorrow. Who we playing tomorrow?
Them boys.
Northwestern State.
Northwestern
State, baby, from Natchitoches.
Northwestern. How good was he?
Natchitoches.
Just great demeanor, huh?
Yeah.
Great demeanor.
Just great demeanor.
Very well.
And we were trying to get him off track. And Lloyd tried to make him a selfish player, and he just would not
Lloyd
do
tried
it.
so hard
God.
to say he wanted to take this job and that job. Good God, Lloyd.
I just wanted to see where he was at. I mean, you said it, not me. You're the one. Like, at some point, somebody here's going to have to get a little bit selfish.
Yeah, and we tried to, get him to think about the future. We tried to get him, and he just, no, this is what we're doing.
No.
What's dangerous is what he says. Like, I'm in love with that feeling. He's addicted to baseball.
How about that?
That's the best thing.
That was
in the
cool to
world.
hear about his road mindset too.
Yeah.
Like that was cool.
I really do. Like, I feel like I asked that question to a lot of guys because I feel like you get a very good idea of the person, not so much the ball player, like the person.
I've never really heard it described like that, where he said, or I guess just never thought about it that way. It's when these young players in a league like the SEC get into a spot where they've never had so many people rooting for them to fail.
Yeah.
You start thinking about that growing up. You never play. You might go to the little high school rival, and there's.
I'd be like Ash Menard.
Yeah.
There's 300 people.
There's 300 people.
Yeah.
There's 300 people. 150 of them are still on your side. So like that. But then you go to these stadiums, and there's 9,000 drunk human beings hoping for you to fail, and you have to overcome that as a human. That's a big deal.
It's different.
Wow.
It's different. I love it.
It's pretty cool that he sees that.
I love asking the question because LSU's a special place, man, because
it comes with the territory.
Well, when you're great, you can almost feel like any other place, right? Like when you're good and you're doing great, you could feel like any other place. But when you don't play well as a team and or as a single player, you can almost kind of have that road feeling here because the people care so much. Mm-hmm. So for me, when I ask
nice
guys,
of you to say that
when
about
I ask
the fans
guys
that care
that
so
question
much.
here, it's not simply because you got to go on a road. It's because if it ain't going well here too, I know what that shit feels like here.
Yeah.
This ain't an easy place. This ain't like playing in Kentucky where when they suck and or a player sucks, there's probably only 300 people in the stands anyway. Who's talking about it? They don't expect anything.
That's exactly right.
That's not here.
Now, this is a great point to put in this. We sat in that stadium. For that game on Saturday, and the nonsense that you hear in the stands from these great Tiger fans.
Yeah.
Hey, don't it's just passion. It's just passion.
I'm with them. I wish they would stick with the passion instead of the, thought of X's and O's.
Oh, how bad is that?
It's really bad.
They really think they know ball.
They don't
And I love y'all.
Swing at the first pitch.
I had some.
And I love the fans. I love y'all. Keep watching the show.
The umpire 6 pitches into the game, and I'm talking. These pitches were nowhere close.
and we're wearing the umpire out from the side where we got no clue.
No idea.
None.
And we could barely see up and down from where we're at, and we're just,
much less in and out. We could hardly even see up and down from the exact angle that we had.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's
Like,
not. It just is what it is. No doubt.
Unless the catcher.
Great seats too.
The catcher falls over. Yes, shout out Eric Hummel for hooking us up with that. Unless the catcher falls down, I don't say anything.
Right.
If the catcher picks it, okay, that's a ball. We shouldn't have called that. Anywho.
Yeah, it's
love y'all.
We love y'all. Keep watching.
We love the fans. The fans are great. That's what makes LSU so good. That's why.
Go! Let's go. I was like, what's going on?
I didn't know where he was going with that.
Executive Chris Kia.
Yes, leather lungs.
He talked about the atmosphere. I think that's what we're talking about here. Obviously, how special it is. I think this past weekend we were talking about the weekend before he showed up, and then it was all about him. He was a freshman. He answered the exact way he needed to answer it. Politically correct, very poised. Even though you tried to throw him some freaking.
I relaxed him a little bit.
Yeah. I think you made him nervous a little bit.
Yeah,
and he handled it great. Like he's been handling everything this whole year, right?
Lloyd opened him up there. I could see him talking sometimes. He had the vein coming out, and Lloyd said that. We got some smiles.
You got to break through the fourth wall every now and then.
So Becca Hubbard wanted me to tell you that you were a scholar when you were here. You said you weren't.
Becca.
You said
I
you
wasn't.
You weren't a scholar. She also wanted me to ask Larsen how his final exams were going when he was here, and I didn't see that. It's crazy. We don't ever think about that stuff too. These guys are playing ball while trying to go to school.
Yeah.
These next couple of weeks
is
gonna get really fun for them.
Yes, we talk about that all the
Not
time.
having to go and feeling like you talk about getting off the plane feeling like a major leaguer, but now we
Wake
just worry
up
about
at
playing
10.
ball.
Yeah.
Finals are this week.
Yeah, so it's over after that.
It's over
No, the
after-
other teams are done too, but still, it's just a little different
but
here.
it's a different lifestyle. There's no more. I gotta wake up and go to this 8 a.m. class. It's either if I gotta wake up, I'm rolling to the field early, although they're sleeping in.
I love going.
Or you're
Going
going to practice and going to the pool.
Pool.
Yeah, it's a
The
different
pool's
life.
a big thing.
Spinning the per diem.
There you go.
Spending the per diem. I think
Yeah.
their per diem's more per diem
Per
than
diem's
we
a
have
little
now.
nice these days.
Wow.
I don't even think they worry about per diem these days.
Oh, Jay said he'll be able to make it by 7:40.
Oh, got plenty of time. Plenty of time for the man.
Jay Johnson coming on the show at 7:40. Tell your friends.
Bopping in.
Tell your
Coach
friends.
Coach Johnson.
Coach Johnson.
Johnson.
Please.
Great.
Great.
How
Great
good was
move by
that?
him.
That was
You know what? I've told a story about the Javi story. When I was a freshman, I was taking batting practice post-practice, right? Extra reps.
Not you, huh?
But we did it at 8 o'clock. Some people like to do it at 3 a.m. for some reason. I don't know.
Who's that?
Dig.
Other people. Some people, that's what they do. But anybody.
Yeah, I get it.
Anyway.
I get it.
But, doing this, taking these swings, well, Javi was throwing us batting practice, and we go through the round, right? Blake Dean, junior at the time, thanks, Hoff. Jared, whoever else was hitting, thanks, Hoff, thanks, Hoff. I get my round done. I said, thanks, Hoff. He said, what'd you call me? And I was like, Hoff? He goes, no, you hadn't earned the right to call me by my first name yet. You got to call me Coach Sanchez. I was like, okay. That was the only time in my whole life I've ever called him Coach Sanchez is like for those 2 weeks. And then, but like his point is, hey, you're a freshman. You have to,
They've been here.
They've earned that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So I get that. That's like
good.
it's a real thing.
You got to grow a relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
No
that's
doubt.
really
And that's
what it is.
why whenever we heard that about Pearson and you watch his at bats, it all correlates. It feels everything he said. You see it.
Hey,
you see his at bats. You see him like he does what he's preaching. He's doing.
You asked that question and it organically brought out the answer of it, but I wanted to ask him about that one person in particular. The first name that he answered, the first name that he gave us right there is ding, 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 surprise, surprise. The guy who's about to hit 20 homers 3 years in a row in college baseball. Right. First person he said, man, it's really cool watching how consistent he is with his work and how on time and all of that stuff he does. So it's not
an accident.
He didn't come out the womb as a better baseball hitter than you, right? The guy works at it. He has a talent for it, and he continues to better that talent with the work that he puts in. And it's cool to see a young kid come in and see that and be like, oh yeah, this is why Tommy's so damn good.
Yeah, it was all. I mean, and people are like, oh, he's not a leader. He doesn't say this. He doesn't do that.
Well, I think you've seen a different story.
Obviously, he's a leader.
Well, he's played third base pretty good, huh?
He's played third base great.
But they turned a double play this weekend that I thought was just that one where he picked it and then Milam.
Yeah.
But you don't see that thing nowhere like that.
That's a tough double play.
It was just it was good.
Yeah, they're playing good baseball.
And
right?
and you could literally say too, since that Missouri series, the defense has been playing better too.
Yeah,
I think it all goes. It's very complimentary of the baseball they've played. They've pitched it better. In turn, they've played on defense better. In turn, they've got into the dugout and into the plate and swung it better.
So you can talk yourself into it too, and you start looking around. And you go, okay, well, that's a real team. Like it's the best team in the country that came in here, and they didn't play bad.
Yeah.
Like and you see their lineup, and there's no outs, and they got guys coming out of the pen throwing 100, and you're like, that was a real baseball team they played this weekend.
Yeah.
You don't find better baseball teams to play. Don't care what tournament you go to. And you go, well, they just beat them in the Super Regional. Like they just won the first two games against a team like that.
That's a great point.
So you go, okay, well, wait a minute. Well, the regional, could they win that? Well, you just gotta win those first two, and you figure, it's like, if they get who can't they beat?
Right, you be the number one team in the country.
Yeah.
So, and I know it was at home, and they won't have that advantage, but it's just not.
But that's what you need right now.
It's just not as far fetched as it was in your mind 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. See what I liked
to
about
me,
and what I liked about this weekend is like there's a progression of stuff, right? Think about it. We go 3 series ago, you get on the road and you got Gage Jump, who I won't say struggled through the year, but he's coming on.
Yeah,
He announced himself that day. But you got it when we talk about complimentary baseball, meaning you pitch it well, you field it well, and you hit it well. You kind of have to do it in that order when you're not doing it well for a while, right? So Gage goes out there and pitches it well. Now they were able to kind of get all those things going. Well, you fast forward 3 weeks, and I'm not saying he pitched bad. I'm not. But what I am saying is that start the game, you bring the number one team in the country who's scoring 1 million runs, and they go ahead and hit 2 homers on you, you could easily go back to a spot saying, oh,
it's too
shit,
tough.
I don't think we could do this.
Not today.
But when you start building the confidence, you're like, nah, dog, we got you. Just get us off. Keep it here, get us off. And he did that, and he continued to do that. And they continue to say, hey, well, we can play from behind now. Yeah. Watch us. We just did that. That's a team that's starting to grow and starting to play better.
And he does it. They win, they hold off, they do what they need to do, right? They score insurance runs at the end of the game. They make the big pitches, they make the big plays, they win game one. Then you go to Saturday. Luke Holman did the exact same thing. Luke Holman walks the first 3 guys in the first inning, struggles to get out of
50
it.
50 pitches.
However many pitches, 40 pitches, whatever.
Yeah.
Gets out of it, all of a sudden, boom, 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 settles in. Then he gets the bases loaded. Almost similar situation that he had in the first inning. And instead of giving up runs, punchy, end of inning, that shows you that they've made strides. Just those 2 moments right there, because those pitchers gave them an opportunity to claw and get back in the game. And then all of a sudden, big moments happen towards the end of the game, and they run away with it, and they win again 6-4. So it's like all the stuff they weren't doing early in the season now is starting to kind of happen.
Those moments, you're going to look back and you say, man, they made a run. It's like, all right, well, that weekend, Pearson's hit and Holman getting those guys with the bases loaded. But it makes you remember against Florida, and they could have won that second game, and like they didn't do it then.
Arkansas games.
The Arkansas games where they one-run games, all of them.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, well, they weren't as bad as we thought.
Yep.
It was just a few here or there, and now they're rolling.
You want to know what's funny, too, when you really, really start to think about it? Any team that's good, you're getting – somebody's dropping something in the bucket from every angle, right? But just think of, like, the back part of April on to present day. The stars have started to star.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy White has shown up, right? Like he's not been like he's just floating above and he's good. No, Tommy White has turned it on, right? Jared Jones has turned it on. Hayden Travinsky has continued to go. You're getting Gage Jump. You're getting Luke Holman. You're getting Griffin Heron.
Pearson's
like,
having better
you're getting Pearson showing up in those spots. Like Pearson's one of these dudes we've talked about it, bro. It's so funny. When Pearson's at his best, his numbers are never bad. His numbers are never the best on the team, but every time he steps in the box, whether it's you don't know where he's at when he feels, because you just feel like he's got a chance.
Yeah,
he's got a chance,
yeah,
and that's what he's done. But my point is you get to this point in the season, you're like, oh, they're starting to roll. Then you start trying to break it down like individually, like the dudes are dudes.
Yeah,
like the dudes starting to play.
Like what in the world has happened with Christian Little?
No doubt.
Like, where is
the man I saw that was on the mound, or what was that, Saturday?
Well, that's what he was supposed to be.
But my point is if that's who you get walking forward, hey, I promise you, this team is a tough out.
Hey,
yeah.
That's
they are a tough out.
And here's
you don't need 10 pitchers.
Hey, and
you don't.
Need
2.5.
Too many.
You need 3.5. 3.5.
Yeah.
3.5.
You have
Like,
2.5 starters
four,
and one really
There you go.
good
3.5 because you need 2 starters. You need 2 real starters.
Got 'em.
And you need one for sure. I know for sure bullpen guy.
Got
and I
'em.
just need another half.
Yeah.
I need somebody else that
we
can
won,
bridge
like,
me to
with
that guy on
four
Sunday.
real guy, and then we just mix and match some guys step
Now,
up.
that's the question, right? Now, because the third, I think he's going to stay in the role he's in. Let me preface what I'm about to say. But I think he's staying in the role he's in. But Jay has shown that he is willing to try different things with different starters on that Sunday in that Sunday role, right? I don't think he's going to be there, but they've got to figure out that Sunday role.
I'm gonna tell you what.
They've got to figure out.
But so I don't think that's the path for this team. If you're thinking about, like, all right, what's the deal? Like, if you woke up in a few weeks and they were in Omaha, you think this is the greatest season ever, that they came back and did that, and that was great. Well, to get there, do you really need that third starter?
I'm saying this is why I say that, because you're not going to be a 1 seed in the regional. You're going to be a 2 or 3.
So you got to win.
So you have to win that first one. So now you can't just bang your way to a win. You have to use your top 2 guys, and that third one is. I'm just.
So
it
that,
happened at
so in that first game,
Miss, right?
first game you use Jump in.
Hopefully,
Herring to
if
win.
it goes perfect, it has to go perfect.
Here's what I'm really,
saying.
and I'm not just saying that because I'm gonna keep saying it until it makes me right. Like I truly do think this, and I really believe this. And honestly, I don't even know if that decision will be made or something like this will be done by the time they're in a regional. But they would have to get past the regional, possibly even for something like this to happen. I think at some point, Cade Anderson is going to have to get out there. And the reason why I'm saying it is because perfect example, Ackenhausen. What you got from him on Sunday. If you had gotten just that, what you got from him on Sunday, coming in the game at 4 2/3, or coming into the game to start the 5th, or coming into the game to start the 6th, I think you'd be very okay with it. Right? And so now if I can give the ball to somebody who's going to get me through 4 or 5 on a Sunday and keep me in the ball game on a Sunday.
Absolutely, but and I agree with you. I think Cade needs to get that opportunity to do that. But if he hasn't gotten it consistently yet, is Jay going to give the opportunity to postseason?
That's fine. But usually, no.
Because he's been starting a lot of the midweek
games.
But
because this is what you don't usually see at this time of the year. That guy starting the midweek game, still being somebody that you're like, hey, I think we could count on him in the week. That guy, that role's usually changing a lot. And so by the time you get to the postseason, that guy that's been starting ain't that guy. It's been different guys. Right. Yeah. It's been him kind of the whole time. So I'm wondering if now once we get to where there is no midweek and I need that arm, it's very obvious he likes the arm. It's like you're not going to keep that guy on you're not going to keep him off the mound the entire postseason.
Basically, the schedule's going to force him into having to start.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're not going to keep him on the bench the entire postseason.
And
if you're going to make, go ahead.
I was going to say, if it's not Cade Anderson, it's going to be it's one of those guys where You're gonna wind up in a regional and go, man, that guy gave us 4 or 5 innings.
Right.
And we really didn't see that out of him in SEC when he did it. So it could be Anderson. You know, it could.
And I'm
be,
not saying it's going to be Christian Little, but he came in as a starter. And I'm just saying he has the experience. If he's
I think Little's
well,
in the
maybe.
Well, I think he's already. Like in my mind, when you get to the regional, it's the, you know, so it's Jump and Herring to win the game 1 because you just got to win the game 1, and now you're playing game 2 against the 1 seed hopefully, and then that's Holman, and then you're trying to get out of that with Little.
Yeah. That's
From
what I'm saying.
you saw there,
You know,
but he's not like so. But I've seen him do that enough. Maybe hopefully leading up to that, right? So next weekend,
Right,
the weekend
right,
after
that's
that.
what I'm saying.
and I'm wondering if it's this. If it's, I guess it had to be 09 because 08 there was nothing but wins. So we didn't lose any. But I'm gonna imagine.
Talking about the run the SEC tournament.
Yeah, it may have to come in a forced moment, not where I'm really getting to make a decision. Where you see the kid's ready.
When
Well,
the guy, we won the
moment.
SEC tournament that year in the championship against Vanderbilt with.
We had
That was
Ryan
the
Bird.
best. I would tell that to you all the time. I think that those guys really didn't have to pitch when we got to the NCAA tournament, but that was the best thing that happened to the team because then the team looked around and go,
Oh, we can't.
we can't lose.
Yeah.
There's nobody
Like
that
it
can
doesn't
beat us.
matter if we don't win the first. We got guys like we're gonna win no matter what. And so I think that even though they didn't pitch and didn't need them, it was the
They did something
safety
special,
net. Like the rest of the team went like, and so even the starters, the pitchers could go out there and go, I could go loose, man. Even if it doesn't work today, it's okay. We're not all on Lewis Coleman.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And that's what I'm thinking.
It was
I'm like,
huge.
What if you get that? That may be where you get the Cade Anderson being born into big time moments where it's
They're going to need to win something up there, too.
Yeah.
They're going to have
No
to play
doubt.
something decently well. I'm not saying they got to go undefeated. I'm not saying they got to win the tournament, but
They gotta go
have
even.
to have
They
a
gotta
good
make a run.
showing and
Run.
go
No,
decent.
I think they got to go
can't
even at least.
They can't go 2 and Q.
They
No,
gotta go,
indeed not.
well, I think
No.
they got to go even. They got to go 2-2.
Yeah.
Like it's still a double.
So if you're playing 4 games, who's got to start?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
that's my point.
No, you're right. You're right.
There it is.
They're gonna force him into having that role, which is fine. I think that's gonna be good.
Hallelujah.
And
you
you look at the weekends, right? We talk about the bullpen coming in. How to be. Listen, we see teams that are not as deep as some of these SEC teams. These mid-major teams make these deep runs. Why do they normally do that? Because some pitcher has a complete game, 1-2 hit shutout that he goes all 9, and now they got all their pitchers for the next game. So like, let's not discount maybe Gage Jump going 8-9 shutties or Luke Holman going 8-9 shutties in one of these
they got to pitch well.
postseason. Got to
They
pitch.
can't go 3 innings in
No,
any postseason.
no,
We
no.
don't have enough. We don't have enough
And
on
they
it.
got you probably going to need a special performance for one of the 2 of
Yeah,
them.
I agree.
You know,
Yeah.
to kind of save that bullpen a little bit and hold them.
There's no reason that can't happen.
And there's no reason that can't because they both have done it.
Yeah.
This year.
You saw it last year when you had Paul Skeens. You still needed a extraordinary performance from whether it be
Right.
Thatcher Hurd who stepped up, and then Nate Ackenhausen had
That's
to
the thing.
start.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
exactly. And the guy, he can still do that.
I mean, you can't tell me any different. I know he trusts him a lot last year.
This shit ain't
And
easy.
I know he trusts him a lot last year, and he put him in there in big moments last year. But I still think Nate Ackenhausen gets starts now off of what Jay Johnson saw him do last year in the postseason.
That's why he's put
I
Hurt
trust-
out there a
Yeah.
million
That's why he
times.
puts Pearson out there. Like, I don't
Yeah.
care what the number
Yeah.
says. I trust the guy.
Yeah.
And watch what he does. He did it again.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Does Hurt pitch again?
I don't know. I don't think we can ask. I was about to say, Jay's coming on in about 20 minutes. I don't think we can ask. I wish I could ask him.
I'm not going to ask
No,
him
I
that.
wish I could ask
Oh,
him
I'm
that.
surprised you want me to ask him.
I'm just saying. No,
Yeah, actually.
But
I think we might get literally disconnected.
I don't know.
Just so y'all know, I was not thinking.
Oh, no, I know you weren't. I know you
Jay
weren't.
Johnson that.
I know you weren't.
Ever.
I was just making a joke. I know you weren't. But
Hey, Chris McGee, coach, got one for you here.
so
Thanks for
Chris
coming to
calling
our
in
show.
from Alexandria.
Who's that
I'll
asshole?
hang up and listen.
The fuck's in the water in Alexandria.
Another Alexandria butthole.
But
Hole.
I don't know if he pitches. I don't know if he pitches again.
Yeah.
Unless you have to. Unless you can't.
Nah, he's not. He's gonna pitch.
He is.
I just don't know.
He pitched
And
before
maybe when the
Moffitt
postseason
this
happens,
week.
it's like a.
Who did he pitch after on Sunday? Moffitt came after him, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's no longer. Moffitt jumped him.
He
Sunday.
came in after. Was it Dutton? It wasn't Dutton, right?
Dutton
Dutton started, or Dutton came in and gave up the 4.
Dutton was good.
it was
Dutton
Boom.
and then
the four.
no, yeah, Dutton and then
Lower.
whoever came right at lower. He came in after lower.
Oh yeah, came after Lower.
Coach.
Lower.
We put with like Thatcher's just every outing going. Like there's no way that would have been Lower before Thatcher in that situation. And then it's now Moffitt's jumped them, and it's like, okay, well, there's not really
Yeah.
a lot of more innings, which is
It happened to Christian Little last year.
I'm telling you, man. Every time they put him out there, it happened to Thatcher last year. Why does everybody forget he wasn't doing very well?
Right.
And then they kept putting him out there, and then he did.
And that's why I said postseason. Sometimes you get to the postseason, you finally can say, okay, season's over.
Yeah, I hated that he had such a bad outing.
That right. And look, the numbers are still there. They still go during the postseason.
Still throws 96.
Not more than what they do. Like they stop, they reset in professional ball.
Right.
So you have that mindset too.
Right.
But there is that mindset once you get to the postseason of, well, my numbers don't mean shit here anyway, so I might as well just buy in. Maybe that happens at that time. I don't know. But I don't know if the opportunity for it to happen.
That's why I'm so upset. I think that the outing this weekend was in a way where it didn't look great when he walked off, but then also it's like, all right, well, is he gonna get another moment to find it?
Right.
And I thought it was great when he's coming to the game on Sunday. I'm like, man, I'm glad he's coming because this is a great opportunity for him to throw 3 hoops up and us to just gain a little confidence in him and the team. And it didn't happen that, and it's like, oh, dang, we're missing a big piece of we can't get him right ever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The guy would be a big 3 innings out of the bullpen, bro.
Ulloa coming back, that was a big one.
Yeah.
Right?
And he's been hurt.
I don't know if what the deal was. I know his velo started going down a little bit, and he hadn't pitched. His velo was back up to mid-90s.
Him and Christian Little. What are they doing?
Yeah, like he looked good. That's another arm that we thought was going to be a big factor in the season. Really hasn't been up to this point. Seems like he could be kind of in the back end.
Forget about him. That's good. He could be.
Yeah, I mean you got some guys. Obviously, I think like Jay said, the Cade Anderson piece I think frees up a lot. Right, if Cade Anderson could be that third guy to give you 5 innings, like that frees up a lot of guys in the bullpen. That gives you Nate Ackenhausen. That gives you potentially Griffin Herring if he doesn't have to throw. That gives you Christian Little. That gives you Ulloa. That gives you
Guidry.
Guidry can come out there he's probably going to be like a 1 or 2 out guy maybe. You have that guy who's done it, and then maybe Hurt kind of figures it out a little bit and he does enough. But it frees you up. It gives you more bullpen options.
No, it does. And here's a good thing about what you got going now. If there is a situation that throws Cade Anderson into it now, like we've just named Griffin Herring, we just named Gavin Guidry, Ulloa, Ackenhausen. We're naming maybe 5.
Moffitt could be in there.
He's on the teetering.
Little.
My point is that we're naming 5 guys. Little, that's the other one. That's 5 guys right there over the course of 3 games, over the course of a weekend when you're like, man, I'm pretty sure I can get 6 outs out of him. Not like where he was before in the sense of like
the scary part.
Oh, let me go back here, there. You're there for 1 out. I got 5 guys. I know.
The scary part is there's so many of them, and you've seen them not be great. So it's like you're almost flipping a coin as the coach when you're in the postseason of which one. Because you put one in there and he gives up 3.
No, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel better about it now. And this is why I named those 5 guys. Because you just named Aiden Moffitt. We can name about 5 more that were like, oh, they can get out there. I think that was the problem early, is that we thought we had so many of them that was ready to throw now that it was like, hey, if it's not great for 2 outs, I'm coming getting you, and I'm coming getting you. And those guys really didn't, in my mind, have a real clue of
what's my role?
When am I getting called upon? Right? And so now when it's that, it's everybody coming out. They don't know what their role is in a way. Whether you want to say it's true or not, like we can go up and down the thing. Nobody's got 10 arms just ready to throw strikes.
Yeah, I think it's always
be competitive.
It's always interesting, in the beginning of the season, like, man, we got so much batching, and we're gonna be so much deeper. Yeah, and it's like, well, it just doesn't work that way. Every year you find 4 or 5 guys that are like
that's why I named them.
No one ever has 10 guys.
That's why I named
they're
them.
out there. Like even like Texas A&M, it's like, all right, well they've got some really good guys, but they ain't got 10.
There's like 4 guys that's coming out.
You know who's coming.
You know what situations they're coming in, and they're not. You're not going to see them if it's not those. Like, and that's my point. Is like now that we have like 4 to 5 guys, like I think it might help it where it's we know when we're getting them. They know when they're going to be in the game. Boom, you roll like that. I think that helps it out instead of thinking, I got 10 dudes I can put in that situation.
The key to that, having those 5 guys in those roles, is having Cade Anderson become a starter. Because now that frees up those roles for those guys at the bullpen to be able to give you innings out of the pen. It
slots everybody up.
And not force a Johnny Holstaff every Sunday.
Yeah.
Right? So.
And that's what you found with Thatcher last year. Was it the Georgia game where he went out there and went like 5+, and Jay didn't go get him. It didn't start great, and then it was you figure it out right here. Like I ain't coming to help you, so it's up to you. And I thought he was gonna do that on Sunday, but it just didn't. There was
right. We all kind of
he
felt
was watching.
It. Yeah, it was not.
It wasn't time to sit there and let him do that.
Yeah,
We had to go.
Right.
It was just
and look, Sunday.
The health of the kid,
Sunday happened because there was a lot. Like we talked. They did what they didn't do Friday and Saturday. They walked a lot of guys. They gave free passes. They were back behind in counts. They let a team hit for 45 minutes in one inning.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Like that's a tough deal.
But again, that was a very good baseball team.
No doubt.
That's like we've been run rolled by other folks. Like that's okay. Like that's a good lineup.
No doubt. 2 out of 3. Nobody expected them to do it. They did it. Right, which is
and then you get
huge.
up 2-0 on Sunday.
3-0.
3-0.
Scary.
Yeah, and it's huge.
That was the
moving forward.
Right. That was the real kick.
That's why you really like. That's
and
the
it felt good. It was like easy.
Oh yeah.
That was the only thing about Sunday that stings. Because like if they just blow them out from the beginning, that's one thing. But you look at that game and you go, man, we're in the fourth.
Fifth, top 5,
and we're up
3-0.
3-0.
Whereas like if we get off the field with 1 and then go scratch away 2, like. We're making it hard on them.
They had one hit. They had one hit.
Like, we got them on the ropes, bro. Like, they're thinking, like, can we just get back on this plane?
Standing 8 count.
Now here's
the bell.
Here's the conversation because when Jay gets on, we're gonna go from Jay to the segments, and I want to touch on this for a second. What's LSU's path to the tournament and to the SEC tournament 1 and 2?
How much help was that this weekend?
Right, 1. And what does the rest of the SEC look like, right? Who does LSU have moving forward? Now, they got Alabama. Alabama struggled this weekend. But here's the deal. What's the biggest thing that the committee looks at? It's RPI, right? LSU's RPI before the Sunday game was 30, right? Playing A&M, who was the number 1 RPI team in the country, right? If that's going to be a big determining factor, you took 2 out of 3 for the number 1 RPI team in the country. Your next 2 opponents, Alabama has a top 15 RPI in the country. We need that.
Need 2 of them.
And Ole Miss has a 20. I think they're 22 or 23 in their RPI. They're in the top 25 of RPI. So you're gonna have 6 games against RPI teams that are ranked higher than you, which is only gonna help your RPI by winning, right? So I think you win those 2 series, even if you don't sweep. You go 14-16. Or it would be 13 and 17,
yeah.
But with an RPI probably in the mid to low 20s. I think you're an at-large bid. You go to the SEC tournament, you win a game or 2, you're definitely going to be an at-large bid.
I think you got to win 4 of the next 6.
Yes.
And you got to win 2
no doubt.
in Hoover to just sleep well.
I mean, like, let's just think about it if we're being completely honest about it.
That's also why Sunday sucks.
And that would probably put them as the 9th-rated team in the SEC.
Yeah.
Which
right?
one? 4 wins?
Getting to 13 and 17?
Yeah.
They'll probably be ranked 9th, and usually the SEC teams are going to get 9, 10 teams in
10. You would think 10, especially the way that the conference was this year. They got 10 last year. You would think it'd probably be 10 this year. I think if you can get to that 13 and 17, you're almost a lock for the tournament. Just in the sense of, like, think about it. You will have won at that point. I think 5 of your
last
10 series.
Yeah, you
all 5 of them being in the back half.
And that's what they look at.
Right.
How do you
finish?
finish?
Then you go to the tournament. You maybe win a game or 2.
I think the other way, 13 and 17 wouldn't be as good.
Yeah, no, that's exactly why I'm saying it like that. Like, and then you add on top of it, you're like, all right, well, who else did they play at the beginning of the SEC schedule? You're like, oh wow, that's a pretty tough schedule to start with.
13
so those things will help.
13 and 17, and then 0 and 2 or 1 and 2 in the tournament. Still, you are worried.
You're worried. Yeah, I think I would sense you would be okay, especially if you play well, like really well in these next 2 series. But you don't want to go there and get bounced like that. No.
Any way you can win 5 out of 6 and go 14 and 16, I'm thinking that's like you're a lock.
No doubt. You're a
think
lock.
so,
and
too.
look, I'm not saying
and
they're
that's
going to go
doable.
Ahead. No doubt. Listen, I'm not saying they're going to win 6 in a row. But, like,
not saying
they could.
Not.
They could.
We
like,
won 23.
They proved to you last weekend that they can beat the number 1 team in the country. These teams aren't the number 1 team in the country.
No.
These teams are very desperate teams.
We can get 2 from Alabama. We can get 3 from Ole Miss. That could be.
You go 14 and 16. You're no doubt.
You're right. And with the finish,
you go 15 and 15. You put yourself in a position where it's like, wow, they're not gonna get a host, but some people may bring them up at the meeting.
Well, listen to
maybe.
Me. I don't know.
I say you're probably a 2 seed somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
And maybe a host.
So if
15 and 15 may put you top 4 in the SEC.
If you go 15 and 15, that meant you won these
6.
last 6 games, and then you won the last 8. So like, how many of that? And you're, 10 of your last 11, whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah. And then you go do something at the SEC tournament.
Now here's the deal: you go 50-50 and you win the SEC tournament.
You're
hosting.
You're hosting.
No, not just if you win. That's easy. But let's just say you go.
But that would be a big deal.
Yeah, it would be. But let's say you go 2-2, you still got a shot. I think you still got a shot.
15-50.
At
15-50.
Yes.
Yeah, and here's the other thing: you go 14-16 in conference, and then you go win the SEC tournament. You're probably in a conversation too.
You're in the conversation without.
I don't know if you're getting
14-16. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're in the conversation.
God, well, could be.
Obviously Jay's looking at it game to game.
Yeah.
Right. He's not looking at it, as like I'm sure he is behind the scenes. He's not going to verbally admit it because he can't. He needs to keep the let's stay focused mentality.
He's listening.
You got to.
Oh, he's in.
Yeah.
Oh,
I keep saying it.
He's in.
Don't be scared now.
No, I'm not scared. I'm not. I was telling him pretty much. I'm assuming that's what he would say if I asked him the question, which I'm not going to ask the question. I'll let probably Chris or Jared ask the question
about the formula.
Yeah, about the formula. Coach, we appreciate you joining the show. Second week in a row. Lloyd hasn't scared you off. Congratulations, big win this weekend. A&M, number 1 team in the country. We talked last week. We felt like they've been playing as the most complete team in the country. Scores more runs than anybody, hits more home runs than anybody. The first 2 games, you held them to 4 runs. Bullpen and pitching staff has pitched extremely well over the last 3 weeks. What do you attribute to that, and how great was it to see you feel? I feel like that was probably the most complete series y'all had all year.
Yeah, it was a great weekend. The home environment was amazing. Really thankful to our fans for coming out and supporting us the way that they did. It really made a difference in the game. As far as the team, I think for 3 weeks we've played really good baseball. 9-3 over that stretch. I think we've really had 3 bad innings from the mound that entire time, and those obviously have come in the 3 losses. But I thought we were competitive. I thought the character in close games was what you're striving for it to be, and really thought the weekend was an opportunity. We were fortunate to have a team with as good a record as they had at home this late in the season. Able to win that series is a big deal, and it keeps us in the fight. And these guys are competing and playing our best baseball right now, which is a good thing.
Coach, now I want to make this clear. I'm talking about a spot and not a person, because you had it from the spot earlier in the year, and then baseball happens, right? And you go through the middle part of April, and it was a tougher part. How good does it feel knowing that once the game starts on game 1 or Friday night in this conference, that for a fact you're in a spot where you're going to get an opportunity to win at a game, because what's going on the mound is going to be quality work?
Yeah, I've believed all year on Friday and Saturday, when either of those guys are pitching their best, we're as good as any team in the country. And what you've gotten with Gage and Luke the past 2 weekends is they both pitch well. And when they both pitch well, that obviously gives us a great chance to win the series, which we have each of the last 3. And so I think Gage is hitting his stride right now. There's a lot of reasons for that, but really like where he's at from a mindset standpoint, a body standpoint, an execution standpoint. And, he's facing a formidable offense this weekend, and really held them in check. We talked about it before, that eliminating the big inning was huge. And in Friday night's game, they had 4, single run innings for 4 runs. And that allowed us the time and the ability to come back and win that game. So really good performance out of him. And, I think that's 4 in a row, because I still stand by. I pitched very good at Tennessee, and then obviously these last 3 Friday night wins.
Coach, you mentioned, doing things that haven't happened early in the season, right? We've talked about, a lot of people have talked about not being able to drive in guys or have that clutch or have the big moment at the plate. And then Pearson has the walk-off against the last weekend, right? And then this coming weekend you have Texas A&M coming in, and Pearson comes up with another big hit, bases loaded, hits the double down the left field line, and really puts you in a position to take control of that game. And that's something that hadn't happened yet, right? And 2 weekends in a row, he's the guy that's done it. And it almost felt like you could feel the guys, and whether, it just felt like it for me, it just exhaled. Like, okay, hey, it's finally kind of flipping our way now, and those moments are going our way because we've stayed the process and we stayed the course. Do you kind of feel that way, and how important has Pearson been the last few weeks of steadying this lineup?
Yeah, I mean, I love Josh, and I think I mentioned this last week because we talked about his walk-off hit against Auburn. You always want to win every game, and even though statistically maybe he hasn't had the best season, I just feel good when he's coming up with runners on base. He controls his heartbeat, stays within himself, stays within his plan, and is executing it. And, you got the home run guys with White and Jones and Travinsky, but that ability to just hit is something we've lacked a little bit. I think I mentioned this last week. This is a unique team, and all my teams have had high-level hitting ability and then developed into power, where I think we have plenty of power, but have lacked on just the pure hitter element. And when he's going, he's got that to him, and so he's sitting in that spot in the order for a reason right now, and really, really trust him. And both hits, middle of the field the other way, off really good pitchers, two of the better relievers in the SEC. And you're right. It instills belief in the team, and kind of felt like it was our time this weekend. And Josh obviously contributing a lot to that.
When you change the variables and the environment around someone, there's always that unknown about, all right, what am I going to get? Obviously, I think we can all sit here and say and agree that a big change in environment and or variables is going from high school ball to college ball, right? Milam starts out the year smoking hot. Has he changed anything? And what did you learn about him, being able to see him, one, how he goes about his mental approach in those times, and how quickly he was able to come out of it and get to the other side of it, I guess physically, if you will?
Jared, I'm sorry. Who did you say?
Oh, Milam.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, he's baseball all the way, and he's an extremely good fit in our program, or playing for a coach like me, where you're not fitting baseball into the rest of your life. You're building your life around baseball, and he has good skill set. That's obviously what's got him to this point in his career. He's a tough competitor, and that, worked very well early on. And then you're right. There was no way to have any of those freshmen prepared for what was coming, especially with how our schedule laid out. But he's done a really nice job. I think the at-bats in between the hits are getting better. He's understanding the strike zone. He's competing with two strikes, doing a lot of really, really good things right now.
Hey, Coach, this is Chris McGee. Man, I'm new to the show for today, but I've shaken your hand before. I was in the stadium on Saturday. I wanted to ask you about a moment. Holman gets there. I guess it was in the fourth or fifth, and the bases are loaded. Nobody's out, and man, he just comes up with three big punchies, and not just punching out anybody. Pretty good hitters in their lineup. I think he got Targash, which hadn't had a great year, but then he got those two guys at the top that have just been smoking hot. Can you tell us a little bit about just thoughts in the dugout, the feeling, the energy in the dugout, what that meant to the team when that moment happened?
Yeah, I mean, that was immediately after we tied 3-3 after being down 3-0. And the last
no rebounds.
Was go out and load the bases with no outs. And so it was really interesting. On the second walk, which was to load the bases with no outs, Luke showed some emotion like I haven't really seen before. He grabbed the ball and snapped his glove, and I was like, whoa, this is going to go really good or really bad. And with that, I believe he's one of the best pitchers in college baseball, hands down. And I really think the entire outing on Saturday night showed why. He gave up 3 runs in the first inning, didn't have great command, they hit some mistakes, and then immediately proceeded to get us a couple zeros to allow us to tie the game. Then, as you mentioned, loaded the bases with no outs, and then to strike out Targash, Grahovac, and Lavalette, awesome. And I felt like that really fueled the team, fueled the stadium for the rest of the game. And we needed that because Sadeo, their reliever, is one of the best relievers in the SEC, and he didn't give us much for a while. And so that allowed us to settle in and come back and get on top in the 7th and stretch the lead in the 8th. And so really great performance by Luke. And like I said, I believe in him as much as anybody. And he showed why on Saturday night with that performance.
Coach, going into this weekend, I think a lot of people were hoping to win one, right? Like people were talking, oh, the number 1 team in the country is coming in. LSU's playing really good baseball, but we haven't really seen them consistently do it. You'll go in there, obviously, full belief that y'all are going to go and win this series. You go ahead and you win the series. You take the first 2 games from A&M. You put yourself in a position now where you are still fighting for a postseason spot, but you put yourself in a little bit more favorable position with 6 games left in the SEC. Obviously, you have Northwestern State tomorrow, but both of the teams that you play have a higher RPI than you do as a team. And so I think, I would imagine winning those games is only going to help your postseason chances. I know you're game to game and you're focused on game to game, but has that been a conversation for the guys like, hey, y'all have played good enough these last 3 weeks now. Y'all have played like we know y'all can. Y'all put yourself in a position to kind of control your own destiny.
Yeah, and I think, we do keep it game to game, 1 pitch at a time. Like that's like my whole deal. But I think, them having hope in what there might be at the end of the rainbow has helped them with whatever you want to call it, urgency, ability to just maintain focus on what we're trying to do and keep it pitch to pitch. And, even after the game yesterday, I mean, obviously didn't love how the 9th inning lasted, but whether we lost 9-3 or 14-4, like that has no bearing on anything. Right. What I didn't want to happen is we played great for 22 of the 27 innings and really put ourselves in position to sweep with 15 outs to go. And they deserve a lot of credit for that. And so I didn't want, the last 4 innings of yesterday to ruin that. Tomorrow's a very important game in terms of the context of postseason. It's an opportunity for us to finish the non-conference schedule 23-3. And there's maybe only a handful of teams that will have that out-of-conference record. We've beaten a lot of teams that are on the, proverbial bubble. Like if you go head-to-head, we won all of those games. The only 2, honestly, that fit into that category are the next 2 SEC opponents that we're playing that have, good RPIs. So everything is right in front of us. I told them afterwards we've put ourselves or kept ourselves in the fight, and the players deserve all the credit for that. And we've been in Game 7 or playoff baseball here for the last 3 weeks, and they've had a great response to it, and I'm excited to continue on that journey with them.
Coach, I would imagine you've probably put together a lot of the schedule, understanding that these are going to be tough games. These are going to be growing moments for these guys to be able to kind of get to where they want to go, which they have done every bit of that when it comes to the non-conference schedule. And then you get into the conference play. You have a tough schedule. It gets hard. It gets rough at one point. Does the weekend like what you just had against an A&M team who's the number 1 team in the country, who's been playing lights out, who's done everything right, does that kind of give you that, I won't say aha moment, but like showing the team like, hey, I know I've been telling it to you all year, but this is what you're capable of, and don't forget that.
Yeah, I think it certainly can. I mean, you guys are athletes at the highest level, and when you execute and you win and you perform, it definitely fills your belief. And I think that definitely our team could use that from this weekend. I haven't wavered in that, with our team, even in the trying times, and, have kind of figured out a way that works for us to help message things for them and help them be their best. And that's what coaching is. But they deserve the credit for growing up through that tough stretch. I thought early in the year, we were maybe even like a little bit ahead of schedule. We played great in Houston, won that tournament, have some really good non-conference wins. And then, getting into that's a tough deal. I mean, you're dealing with 3 top 5 teams in the matter of 4 weeks, 2 of them on the road, who I believe in one of the polls this week were number 1 and number 3. And then, you beat number 1, 2 out of 3. Like, I don't know that anybody outside of Auburn has played the schedule that we have, honestly. And so we've hopefully, survived the storm. We got bloodied, got beat up, but there's a lot of value when you come out of the other side of that in terms of showing you what you're capable of. And I hope this weekend, fuels that belief and we continue to play in the character we have the last couple weeks, this week and into next week.
All right, Coach, I think we're going to get you out of here on this one. Boyd's going to let me shut it down, I guess. But wanted to ask you about just the last few outings for Christian Little and just kind of, for lack of a better term, emergence of him and what that can mean to the ball club.
Yeah, I think it means a ton, as you saw. I mean, we just won the series against the number 1 team in the country largely because of Christian's performance. I mean, that was elite of elite.
Yeah,
I mean, that was a game where he's going out there and executing. It's like, hey, you know what? We have the advantage now on the pitching side of things. And, there's been a lot that's gone into that. First, I will talk about him, and I might have said this last week, but in the midst of our team struggling and maybe even him struggling a little bit, even though I think he's had a very good season, he stayed super engaged in what did the team need out of him? How could he help, in the situation? And then a few weeks ago, looking at some of the analytics stuff with Jamie Tudko, we made a significant shift in what he was doing, and him and Coach Yeski worked hard on that. And now we're seeing the talent that, I knew we had when we brought Christian here. And, he's part of a contributor on a national championship team last year. And, the emergence of this team, he's right at the forefront of that, and excited for these next few weeks for him to keep executing the way that he has.
Coach, obviously we're excited for these next few weeks as well as fans. We're excited to see the emergence of him and the emergence of the team. Y'all are playing really good baseball. We don't want to keep you too long, so we appreciate your time as always. We appreciate you squeezing us in. I didn't let Lloyd speak to you today. He's in timeout.
I'm texting your wife.
So I want to make sure.
So thank her for setting up the Zoom.
I want to make sure that you knew, like, we muzzled him today. We didn't want to give him too much free. He knows you're in a good mood, so I think he was going to try to take advantage of that. And I didn't want him to do that.
I bullied Ashton Larson enough today.
Yeah, Ashton came on the show, by the way. Unbelievable kid.
Great.
His answers are very well thought out. He's a very
baseball robot.
Yeah. No, not a robot, but he's a baseball guy, and he's got a really bright future. So, we appreciate him coming on. We obviously appreciate what you do. We're gonna be watching this weekend, watching next weekend.
We're watching tomorrow.
We're gonna be watching
tomorrow. Don't forget about tomorrow. Big game.
Forget about tomorrow.
Big game.
Enjoy your night, Coach. We'll have you back on next week. We appreciate it. Good luck this weekend at Alabama.
All right, guys. Great to see you.
You too.
Don't let LSU get hot, Coach.
Don't let him get hot.
You would think a guy that literally introduced himself against Harvard would just give a little bit more respect to these midweek games, huh?
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, I mean, just glossing over them like they're not even there. Like you didn't get birthed at that point. Like
you're right. Listen,
man.
I forget about little.
Mikey said, "We'll see you next week, Coach."
Little Northwestern. We'll see you next. Yeah, always.
You like that? Huh?
Always in LA.
That was good.
You like that? Just let them know. Hey, I'm gonna be texting.
We'll be back.
Don't forget.
Hey,
on Monday, you get the text from me. Hey, we're good.
You didn't just say it to me. You said it to all these folks.
That was so good. I like
it.
that.
He's coming back. And
he gave the little nod. No, I think he likes talking ball, Coach.
Hey, he had his coach's show today. He likes it enough to where he went all the way home.
He was at home
and set up his Zoom for us. So that
I was shocked to see him at home. I almost asked him. I said, "Coach, like, what are you doing not at the stadium?
Right.
Like this,
look, you won a couple series.
A little more.
Hey, you don't have to change as much. You don't have to. You're not stressing because hey, we feel like we got a good recipe.
They got a good recipe.
We got some guys playing good baseball. We got some guys that are doing the things that he thought they were going to do when he brought them in.
What did he say about Christian? He said it was a marble on the team. What did he say?
He was very. What do you mean?
He said something about he was a good something on the team last year.
He was a contributor.
Contributor, that's what he said. I didn't understand what he said.
Yeah, he was a contributor
he sure was.
On the national championship team last year. And he's a guy. Here's the crazy thing about Christian Little. He was the number 1 right-handed pitcher coming out of California.
Yeah.
Goes to Vanderbilt, has a pretty good freshman year.
Yeah. In their rotation, right?
In their rotation.
Vanderbilt.
Right? Then all of a sudden, kind of goes south, doesn't pitch as well, kind of finds himself in the back end of the bullpen, felt like he needed a change, transfers to LSU in the portal. He's like, all right, I'm going to come here, I'm going to make it different. Comes in, he struggles a little bit with the strike zone, doesn't really, has one good outing, then he has 3 bad outings, then he has a good outing, you think he's kind of turning the starter, reliever, closer, what is he? He doesn't know. Coach didn't know. Was throwing very inconsistently. Found himself in the back end of the bullpen, a non-contributor towards the back end of the year. This year starts the season that way, right?
He works his way.
Didn't really feel like he was kind of in the mix. 5th-year senior came back, turned down money. Could easily say, I'm done with this. Like, mentally check out. Jay said he's been very involved with the team.
Keeps saying that.
He
keeps mentioning that, yeah.
Right? Like, very involved. Could easily have gone. Shows that he has grown as a man, right? Maturity-wise. And now all of that hard work and that selflessness and that, hey, I'm going to be ready for the team is paying off, and he's now becoming one of the guys out of the bullpen. And probably Kyle Peterson said it perfectly on air. I wouldn't be shocked if in 3-4 years you looked up and this guy was knocking on the big league door.
Yeah.
He's that talented.
He is.
And
Always
it feels
has
like
been,
he's
yeah.
starting to feel that way too.
So all these, again, back to the fans, we love you. But some of the, people
Tiger
just
droppings.
Yeah, people just don't really
We need
understand.
you on this show a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be back.
All right, good.
So I just think, you got kids at home. You got
things
to do. But
even more.
See, he did what Jay didn't do. And he said, you know what? I'm gonna let you know I'll be back. Man.
Yeah, but hold on.
Not, here's my excuses why I can't come.
But yeah, not next week. But
we got that. No.
What I was saying,
we do this 3 days a week.
Can I talk about the Tiger droppings, folks? Okay.
God damn it.
What they don't realize, I think, of what goes into it, and they, I can't believe they're not doing this. And Jay just gets on there and says, man, Tucko's working behind the scenes. Shout out Jamie Tucko for that. Working with Yeski. And they figured something out for Christian Little.
Right.
Like, let's not just gloss over that. It's like, well, the coaching staff didn't stop working with this kid to get him better. And now we're going to wake up at the end of the year and say, man, he was an integral part. Well, thank God they did that work in the middle of the season. Kudos to Jay and the staff, because a lot of times that doesn't happen either.
Yeah, a lot of times coaches just shut
Not
down.
at LSU, but at other
a lot of anywhere.
places.
Like, you just never know where. It could be at an LSU caliber school. It can be at the lowest. A lot of times coaches say, oh, this just is who he is.
We brought this guy here. He's not who we thought he was.
We're not going to work with him.
I can't believe that he hadn't, it's like, well, no, what have you done to help him?
Yeah.
Right.
And here they are showing that they have, and that doesn't surprise me that Jay said that, because if you watch the guy pitch, it's a different person.
Yeah. Throwing 97, 98, slider, controlling
just
it.
confidence, right? The guy's throwing
down.
93, 94. Now he had 97 in there. Well, he's just letting it loose now.
Yep.
He feels good about
No
it.
doubt.
And it's not, I don't know, if you kind of take yourself even back to when he was good last year, it almost kind of felt like he tried to play up and do too much as like a person. And it almost, when you watch him throw right now, I don't see you trying to snatch at every ball. I don't see you trying to walk harder than you usually walk. It just looks like, bro, I'm good. Give me the ball
competing.
back.
Yeah.
He's
back up
competing.
here.
Looks like
Competing, but I now know myself.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I
Looks
don't
like
have
he's
to try to. I know myself.
Looks like he's a 5th-year senior. Understands, hey, okay, this is me.
Yeah.
I'm good. I ain't got to prove anything to anybody. I turned on the draft. I know I'm a 5th-year senior in the draft. No pressure. Let me just go out here and throw. And he's done that.
Well, sometimes you wonder if it's like, all right, well, you out here for the show, or not him, just him. You
Yeah.
out here for the show, or you out here to really compete against the hitter and get this done. There was one moment, and I can't exactly what happened on the play, but one moment he got a guy out towards the end of his outing, and just his reaction was genuine. It was I'm here to help the baseball team get this done.
Yep.
Not, oh God, I struck a guy out for
doubt.
me.
Yep.
Which was really cool to see.
No doubt. It's been nice to see good baseball being played.
Let's go!
They've put themselves. Listen, you got to win series. They've put themselves in, hey, you win the series, you're in type of situation, especially in the SEC tournament. You make it to the SEC tournament, anything can happen from that point forward. So they've put themselves in a really good spot. It's going to be fun watching them in this last 2-3 weeks of the season and seeing how special they can make the rest of the year. What are you laughing at?
No, it's just starting to feel like LSU baseball.
It feels like it, right? It feels like they're doing the things.
Wouldn't want to be anybody else but Tiger right now.
Top teams at home. Top teams are kind of doing things that are a little bit characteristic of their team at LSU, which Alex Box Magic's a real thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, had some arm crawlers this weekend.
Real thing.
That's some real arm crawlers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but listen, I'd still like to be A&M right now.
Yeah, of course.
Well, you said it wouldn't want to be anybody else. But
I'll take 2 or 3.
Well, yep. I'd rather number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, number 1 team. That's
you just beat them.
Go Aggies, go Nolan King.
Yeah, I mean
he can come home whenever.
Here's the crazy thing. Here's the crazy thing. Before we get to the segments, Texas A&M can have 2 guys in their line to hit 30 homers. Right? That's pretty nuts. Right?
Is that good?
Georgia is probably gonna have a kid hit 40 home runs. Who's got 33 with 2 weeks left to go, 7 games left, plus the SEC tournament, plus postseason baseball.
Is Georgia any good?
Like they're ranked.
I know, but like,
are they good? They're good because they got a guy on the team that has 33 homers.
And he's hitting 498
or something.
That automatically puts you in the conversation of competitive. Right? He's hitting over 450.
I thought I saw like a 498.
Probably closer to 490.
Conference leaders. Let's see. Charlie Condon, 459.
Wow, maybe that was
just in conference.
That was in conference.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's just in conference?
Is that what you just said? That's what you just said.
Oh, I don't know.
No, that's the full stats.
How many games?
I saw something like
it's showing 33 home runs on here, so it's showing
that's full season.
Full season.
I saw something where he said 490 something. That must have been like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he probably was hitting that.
No, he was hitting that like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I got you.
Oh, he's cooled off.
Yeah, sorry, he's gone 2 for 5. And
he's cooled off, but only hit 7 homers in the last 7 games.
Let's not discount Ryan Prager, Friday night starter for A&M. He's got 8 wins in the season.
No. Let's not discount that was his
first loss.
First loss.
Yeah. Right. 8 wins in the season. Ace.
I want to say
who's the guy that pitched? Is that guy that pitched yesterday for them? Good, like he was throwing 100.
He was a transfer.
The bullpen
Cortez.
He was a transfer.
Bullpen guy. He's nasty.
He pitches a lot.
He walks a guy. Last.
I'm talking about Tanner Jones, not Cortez. I'm talking
about the guy that pitched yesterday with 100.
So he's the guy. He's the guy for them. He's at the bullpen. He usually walks some guys, kind of erratic.
Yeah.
Was not erratic.
Not yesterday, huh?
No, he was good.
I forgot. They brought that one kid in there that was a little lefty, but they took him out after 2 walks. But he was dodging on the black, and the umpire was spitting on him. Guess no one else saw that. But the game was out of hand. Boy, you probably stopped watching.
I did.
I'll
be honest.
I had I think we had to collect like $3,000 on the game, and it didn't happen.
You were watching
for the wedding.
Yeah.
Watching.
No, we lost. We lost it all.
Oh. Yeah, just kept doubling.
Yeah, I'll go. Well, tomorrow's Monday.
So you watched every pitch.
The dream's over.
That's tough. All right, we got a little overtime today, extra innings today on the show. We Jay had a late arrival. We had to get that interview in. We appreciate you tuning in and listening. We got 2 segments for you. Mistake of the day brought to you by our friends at Dozy. Plays what we got today, Lloyd.
Oh, first of all, that was the mistake of the day. It was going to be a curtain call of us all calling the shot on Mystic Dan, the horse. My buddy who we just got back from a wedding. Congratulations. Everybody's still together, so it all worked out. And while we're getting ready, my buddy goes, well, what's the 3 horse? We have no idea when this race is, when it's going to start. It's impossible to find the Kentucky Derby, by the way. Like, they don't do anything to promote it, and then it's 30 seconds of bliss, which it was. So we all put $10 together on a 20-1 long shot on the 3 horse because this guy was number 3 in high school. That was the logic.
Wow.
Yeah. Mystic Dan, we found out later. We just knew he was the 3, and we are watching it on our cell phone, and photo finish, couldn't tell who won, but we had to just assume that it was a winner. And while it was still pending, put it all on LSU to win again. Did it. Put it all on LSU to win again. Did it. Then we had Sunday. It's like, well, why not? Let's roll it out one more time. What could go wrong?
Oh, we lost.
We lost on Sunday.
They doubled down. It was, hey, put on black, put on black, put on black, put on black. Finally hits red, you lose.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what they did.
That's all right. So it was almost a curtain call. But the real mistake of the day, and this is interesting, millionaire 32-year-old Massachusetts woman enrolls in high school, plays on girls' basketball team, fakes being as young as 13 years old. That's all
She's a billionaire.
Millionaire.
Same.
Oh, Billy Madison.
Yeah, a
female version.
32-year-old social worker was able to masquerade as a traumatized high schooler for almost a year while keeping her full-time job as a social worker. Shelby Hewitt, also known as Ellie Blake, 13, and Daniel Blake Herrera, 16, connected her way onto 3 high schools and a treatment center, even tricking a therapist and her partner into becoming her foster parents.
What?
Whoa.
There's more to it, but I just would put it on the radar if you want to read more. But that is unbelievable.
We'll see that on Law and Order.
Yeah.
Or something soon.
Wow.
I mean, is there anything better?
That's
being 30 and like I'm gonna go play so.
I mean, I don't know if better's the word.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know if better's the word.
Crazy.
I mean, I'm saying for a little bit of time there, you got to be a stud. Like, I'm the best player out here. Yeah, you're 30.
A 30-year-old
17
woman, no, we
years.
didn't know. Like, what's she look like at that age?
No doubt.
No, we didn't know she was 14. Man, get out of here.
And that's a scary thought that, hey, nowadays the girls that are 13 are dressing up to where they can maybe pose a 37-year-old woman.
God, boy, what a world.
What a world.
What a world
That's
we live in
crazy.
here, boy.
That is a mistake. What's the mistake? The mistake is her trying to do that, or the mistake is her fooling everybody?
We never know.
Everybody.
We
The
always
people
have
that
to ask
fool.
this question. With
Yeah.
Everybody not knowing.
It's just really long.
I mean, that's crazy. That's wild.
I just want to see some stats.
That's a great one.
I'd love to
Numbers,
play
though.
a group
That's
of
a great one.
14-year-olds today.
Yeah, no doubt. I am 12.
And she's a millionaire. Like, what else do you want to,
How wait? She's a social worker
Uh-huh.
and a millionaire.
Yeah, well,
that doesn't
Nonprofit.
doesn't really correlate, does
No,
it?
it's not. I mean, she might have, there's a lot. Oh, her maternal grandfather passed away, leaving her with a large inheritance.
Okay.
There it is. There you go.
There you go.
That's how it works.
She can do what she loves and still make happen.
She's got like 1.1 though, too. Like, I said, like she's a millionaire.
Yeah.
Before tax.
But it's like, she gets a statement. It's like 1.097.
I'm there.
It's like,
I'm in the club.
But then they put a millionaire.
Yeah, there for a couple months, and then now are no longer a millionaire.
Like the last 2 weeks, she lost
not a millionaire.
980.
Now back to
longer.
millionaire.
Farmer.
Yeah, gives a
Crazy.
paycheck every month. Okay, she's back over it.
Yeah.
Now she's not.
But she's
Yeah.
a millionaire.
Crazy. All right.
I just want to find some numbers.
No, I love that. Curtain Call is brought to you by our friends at Assured Partners. And me. What we got? Anybody got curtain calls?
I got nothing but this roast.
That's what I was going to do.
Thomas Brady. My curtain call is to, dude, hey, listen, if you basically showed up in the building, take some stones to kind of sit there because you are subject to hear anything about yourself. And to be able to sit there and be a part of it, curtain call, because that in itself is impressive.
Also, curtain call to Tom Brady for agreeing. There hasn't been a roast in a long time, right? Because cancel culture. Hey, you can't say that. Comedy.
Yeah.
They're trying to crush that because everybody gets offended. So Tom says, no, I'm going to do it. I like this. Let's do this roast of me. And boy, did they not hold anything back.
Whoa.
Everybody nothing was off limits. Everybody was going after everybody. And I loved it. I think it was a great, and it was 3 hours long. So you got, I've only got to see bits and pieces because it's 3 hours long. And so I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna watch it, but maybe take a week or two to finish it. But I'm gonna do it. That's my
I'm with
curtain
you.
call.
I mean, we can all do the same one because obviously curtain call to the wedding and everything that happened. Like, congratulations, Cole and Isabel. Curtain call to y'all. Long and healthy marriage. But the roast and comedy we've come full circle on this thing. Everybody was getting canceled, and now it is. Comedy always wins at the end of the day. And that's why I was glad to see it be not something that was national news about, oh my God, I can't believe they said that. It was just, it's comedy. This is what it's for. So, glad to see people laughing again.
Yeah.
And not judging everybody.
I hate to close the curtain calls and take over, but I got one.
Curtain call to you, dude.
No, what you do?
Yes. I'm sure you guys have talked about this at some point on the show.
Maybe not.
But curtain call to the Lamar Cardinals.
Oh yeah, we have mentioned them.
I mean, just 36 and
Davis.
10 on the year, 14 and 4 in the league. Sure, our buddy coaches the team, but just having a phenomenal year.
Great
And,
coaching job.
Enjoying what
Great
you got
coaching job. Well, man, those jobs are so hard, especially when it's not just rolling downstream. And, they hadn't had great years in the last couple of years. And for him to get back on the horse and run a good team out there, man, that's curtain call to Will Davis.
Curtain call to
Curtain call to Willie.
Willie D. On a lighter note, has anybody? I'm looking at Barstool Sports just posted some of the outfits of the Met Gala. Right, Met Gala's going on. Are pretty. Somebody had to They had to pick this woman up. I don't know who it was. It was a famous person, I'm sure. I don't know who it was. Her dress is made out of sand.
Oh.
So they had to pick her up and carry her to the top of the stairs because
There's some water on her.
the sand would have whatever. And then Lizzo's wearing, pretty outrageous outfit with a hat that she's wearing. Looks like it's an open top, right? Almost like a trash can. Somebody crumbled up a piece of paper and tried to shoot it
In there.
Cash?
Kobe.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
God rest his soul. Angel Reese is there.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Of course she is.
That's all I was going to say.
You sit like this often?
Me? Mm-hmm. You know, it's kind of my office little sit there. But okay. Next time, just text me that. I don't know.
She's wearing a tutu.
Who? Yeah.
It looks like a tutu, like a, right? Doesn't it look, I mean.
Yeah, she's just, not trying to. Yeah, she's there.
Yeah.
She's
anyway,
there.
Great show today. I was hoping Jay was going to be able to come on. Coach Johnson. was able to come on.
Coach Johnson.
He did come on. That was a nice surprise. I wish he could have promoted it, but we didn't know, so we didn't want to give you out. We've been wrong a lot of times. We have let you down a lot of times. I didn't want to do that again, so we held it.
Mr. Johnson.
He was on. You'll see the clips when we cut him up and put them on social. We appreciate you tuning in, sticking with us. We appreciate you following along with us, being friends with us, being part of the show. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you can't, or you don't like what you see, or you don't like watching us, or you can't watch us, or anywhere you get your pods, please continue to support us. We'll be back live in studio on Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. It'll be the Get Gordon
Get it
day.
done.
Get it done day. Ramsey Barfield got bullied into wearing his uniform.
Finally.
Yeah, so he's going to be coming in full uni. We'll have
And
some
just
other
him,
guests.
that would make it funnier if it was just him.
Just him.
Yeah.
Just him. So we'll have him on Wednesday. We'll obviously
he's probably sweating.
We'll recap the Northwestern State game, and then we will preview or give you a preview to the preview of the weekend. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, see you Wednesday, dude.
We'll see you on Wednesday.
Thank you
You'll
guys.
come back on Wednesday?
Man, I might be open on Wednesday. We're going to see what I got.
There you go.
Well, I had a good time with you
We'd
boys.
love to have you back on. Shout out to all the boys. Jay, you're going to be in Charlotte at some point this week, right?
Thursday. Yeah.
So Jay will be zoomed in on the weekend.
Friday I'll be via the Zoom.
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 We appreciate y'all. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Peace.